Okay, so I've been meaning to educate myself on this Cinder drama for a long time now. I know this drama is like months old at this point. It happened back in like early May, end of April. From the very surface level things that I've seen, it kind of just seemed like a bunch of nonsense. It didn't really seem like much. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to learn more as I educate myself throughout this whole situation. This video essay by Mugen is about 2 hours long, 1 hour 51 minutes if you want to get technical. But yeah, let's just get started. No time to waste.
Well, guys, it took a while, but after 4 months, 2025 has officially had its first apocalyptic-level VTuber drama that has caused an industry-wide disaster. This is about one of the biggest independent VTubers on the planet and how for years, while
it's a hot VTuber model. All right, let's not goon too close to the sun here.
Pretending to be her friend, tried to take away opportunities and suppress the success of an even bigger independent VTuber by the name of Bao. This all started when a very well-renowned artist within the VTuber
I briefly remember this stuff. I guess we'll see the details of what we got.
Community published this document titled "Terminating My Work with Sinder." This document is such a bombshell filled to the brim with proof that it's currently sitting at almost 3 million views and it hasn't even been up for 24 hours.
Crazy. Also, give me 1 second. Damn. Alright, let's continue.
That artist wasn't the only one. There are multiple documents with a lot of proof published by multiple people, including...
Hello, I'm here to share something very... Okay, so this was the tweet that I just saw before I unpaused it. Hello, I'm here to share something that has affected me personally and hurt others. This was very hard for me, but I feel it is necessary. Please do not send hate to anyone on my behalf. That is all I want to... this is all I want to say. I was very hurt by someone I thought was my friend. Oh, okay. Cool.
Bao, who usually stays away from drama. And as time goes on, more and more people are coming out with their side of the story. You have to understand, this doesn't just involve Bao, this involves
on Sinder
multiple
and Redacted, so it's multiple people, huh? My experience with Sinder. Oh, there's like multiple people that have like talked about Sinder. Holy shit, wow, this is crazy.
Successful VTubers being backstabbed by that person.
I'm gonna speed this up, by the way. This is a very, very long video, so I'm gonna just like speed this up. Maybe put captions on? No, that's fine.
And that is barely scraping the surface here. Not to mention that her apology was one of the worst I've seen in recent memory. To say that this is apocalyptic is an understatement. The entire VTuber community is shook to its core. So what the hell is going on? Well, you already know the drill. Let's talk about it. So as I mentioned, the VTuber at the center of this controversy is Sinder, but she didn't always go by that name. She actually started off in 2020 as a YouTuber by the name of...
Oh, she did fucking erotic ASMR roleplays on YouTube, or borderline erotic anyways. I should be a little proportionate here. That's funny. Oh my god, I actually didn't even know this. Damn. She enjoys having simps. I guess there's nothing wrong with playing into your assets a little bit, you know?
Ashi.mp3, making a variety of different ASMR RP videos, like "You're Such a Good Boy for Me" ASMR RP. A year later, on June 2021, she would create her Twitch channel under the name of Sinder and would start streaming.
Twitch partner and everything. Big Twitch streamer. Damn, she's one of the big shots.
She would build herself a small community of people, but the real turning point for her was a year later, on June 2022, when she would officially do her model debut. The whole thing was a resounding success, and people fell in love with her model almost instantly. At the time, very few
Jesus Christ, dude! Damn it! Focus on the mission. Focus on the mission.
Models looked like it, and it was seen as innovative, unique even. Not to mention that it had two very big reasons to keep your attention.
Come on, I'm trying to focus on the mission here, my guy. Please, let me focus on the mission. Oh, and that's this video, Mugen. Come on, stop it!
She would spend close to an hour showing off her model and the different features that it came with. After
I wonder why she would show it off. It makes you wonder.
Her debut, she would get a lot of traction. People really liked her model and her personality. Nanolist was also able to gain some of this traction because she was behind the design of her model. This allowed her to start receiving many commissions from other...
And she was, Nanolist was one of the people that came out with a documentary... Or, I'm sorry, excuse me, a document on Sinder, so, okay, gotcha.
YouTubers who wanted a similar style, and as you can see from how many followers she had in 2023, she was also able to grow exponentially. Cinder would understand that one of the things people loved about her was the design behind her model, so she...
Yeah, the design. In quotes, the design. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we'll play along for now. The design. The design.
stuck with Nano and would keep commissioning a new model or outfit every few months. Now look, when it comes to VTuber models and VTuber outfits, this costs a lot of money. We're talking thousands of dollars. The fact that she was able to do this every few months already showed the resounding success that she found in content creation. Her average view count on Twitch was unstoppable, reaching thousands of concurrent viewers today.
Yeah, I mean, she was a bit of a rising star. Good for her, you know? Like, we do love someone who can play into their assets, we'll say.
Here as the 471st most watched content creator on the entirety of Twitch. Part of the reason of that growth was that she was able to be a part of the VTuber friend group that included the biggest indie VTubers on the planet.
Oh, she networked. Damn. Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. That's what I did too. But like, honestly, I don't know. Like I said, when you tie your brand to someone else, which I wouldn't say I did. I mean, I definitely had help getting popular, I would say, on Twitch. You know, I definitely had some help from someone else, we'll say. If you know, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Like, once you tie your name to someone, you almost feel like obligated to give back to them. But yeah, I don't know. I think the best thing you can do is just don't rely on anyone to grow your platform, to be honest with you. Like, yes, short term you'll get a lot of viewers, you'll get a lot of followers, but having the, like, if I had to compare it to something, it's like a Venn diagram of viewers, right? You have some of your audience that you'll cultivate, some of your newer one, and then you'll have some of the audience of the person that you're attaching yourself to, right? What you don't really want to do is that can create some level of audience capture where if something goes south, like anything goes south, then they almost feel responsible for it, and like optically you'll get dragged down with them if there's like, if anything goes wrong. Right, so you have to be a little bit careful with how you do it, right? You have to, I know it's a case-by-case basis. It's not like, you don't have to necessarily apply it to everyone, but I don't know. I think, in my opinion, you're better off just building your platform by yourself, even if it takes longer, short term.
She was seen as a dear friend, and as far as the others knew, that's how she saw them too. Always collabing together and always being a part of their tier lists or whatever other challenges they do. But that's not all. Her success knew no bounds. In the beginning of 2025, she announced that she was a partial owner of the company Gamersubs.
Ooh, Gamersubs. An energy drink. Oh my gosh. It's got like the fucking VTuber anime cover and everything on it.
This is a huge energy drink company that sponsors many of the top VTubers in the world. She even released her own shaker with them.
I believe it. We need that Gooner juice.
The art on the shaker, of course, was also...
Shit, I'm not even, like, the biggest anime fan. Like, I'm not even, like, a super huge weeb or anime or VTuber or whatever, and sometimes we need our Gooner juice, I guess. I respect the grind.
Made by Nanolist, and it sold out completely. All this to tell you that she was extremely successful. Guys, she was never in any controversy. As far as anyone was concerned, she had a very warm and kind personality, as well as a really cool design. So, of course, no one could have ever expected that it would just take one document to make her entire successful career come crashing down in an instant. But that's exactly what happened.
Damn. Alright, well, I guess we'll see what we got.
On April 26th, 2025, Nanolist, who at this point had become completely associated with Sinder's brand, had published this tweet saying, "Hello, I'm here to share something that has affected me personally and hurt others. This was very hard for me, but I feel like it's necessary. Please do not send hate to anyone on my behalf. This is all I want to say." Linking a Google Doc with the title, "Terminating My Work with Sinder." And in the replies, one could see the biggest independent VTubers on the planet fully and unconditionally supporting Nanolist with this document. So let's take a look. Nano starts off with introduction and notes, saying, "I wanted to share my experience with Sinder and Red manipulating me, using me, and dragging me into drama while sabotaging, slandering, and spreading lies about people I thought were her closest friends." So before we continue, you know who Sinder is, but who the hell is Red? Well, Red, otherwise known as Redacted, has been Sinder's manager since she started
Manager. Weren't they dating as well? I could be totally wrong on that, or maybe that, like, they get into that later in the story. I'm not entirely sure.
Creation. This has been a well-known fact. If you knew her or worked with her or whatever, you typically did it through Red. He was somehow involved all the time. So this document wasn't just talking about Sinder, it was also talking about him. Nano continues, "Not only do I no longer wish to work with Sinder, but I want to share what I've endured over the years and shed light on what she has been doing behind people's backs to protect artists and friends that may be experiencing something similar. I
Alright, what's the allegation? What do we have?
Struggled a lot with writing this document and wasn't sure if what I felt and experienced working was real or just burnout, but I think this proves that I was lied to and manipulated over the course of years while working with Sinder. Note, based on working with Redacted and Sinder over the years, that I am sure they speak for each other and there is no reason to believe Red was acting without Sinder's consent and knowledge. Whenever I...
What does that mean? Red was acting without Sinder's consent and knowledge. What does that mean? Like, do we have, like, an actual allegation or a basis of what we do?
Use they or them, it refers to both of them acting as a team.
Okay.
English not being my first language and the language barrier, I discussed the situation, my feelings, and thoughts with native English speakers who helped me put them into words so everything is clear without any misunderstandings due to lack of English skills. Note, any names that are censored here were censored because the creator in question did not provide consent to have their name revealed by the time of me posting this document. So this is already a handful, right? It's alleging many things, but thankfully, Nano has a lot of proof in DMs. So she starts off with the section, slandering other creators. I will start with screenshots showing them speaking ill of other creators and spreading rumors while manipulating me that it's all in our best interest.
Okay, so that's the allegation, is just being a really... I would say, assuming that this is true, if you take this at face value, the allegation is that they are a malicious friend, right? Okay, I mean, that's shitty, definitely. I wouldn't, if it's just this alone, I wouldn't say it's cancel worthy. I know we're only 6.5 minutes into this, but unless there's, like, something else here where Sinder is, like, actually, I don't know. Like, so far, if it's just this alone, I wouldn't say it's, like, cancel worthy. It's, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna keep playing. I want to get all the information before I give my thoughts.
In addition to spreading ill rumors, they also complain and accuse Bao of giving their editor too much work, resulting in the editor not having any time for new clients, which will be important later on. The screenshots below show them showing their affection and appreciation, immediately followed by spreading rumors and lies to make other clients appear problematic to manipulate any future decisions regarding commissions. So these are fairly recent DMs from January 2025. It starts off with Nano saying, "Of course, I wanted to understand it better, especially if I cancel her for the second time, lol."
Okay.
With Redacted saying, "Well,
especially if I cancel her for the second time." Wait, does... What? Cancel her for the second... What does that mean? Did you attempt to cancel her before? I don't understand. Okay, and this DM was also in January 2025. I don't understand. Is there something I missed here? Start showing screenshots, giving their editor too much work, resulting in the editor not having any new clients, which would be important later on. The screenshot below shows affection and appreciation, followed by spreading rumors and... Okay, whatever.
With Blank, she's given a lot of bias and priority at GS, which is gamer subs, sometimes over Cinder, and we can't really confront them about it, and plus, she's gone 3D lately. Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTube editor a while ago and is constantly picking up artists that we work with. We've gotten to know her better being friends with her, but she really rubs us the wrong way with the things she does. We want to...
Bao has been getting up on her nerves. Okay. So there's this, like, new character named Bao in the story that's, like, important? Okay.
Try and safeguard our most important artist from her since she's already taken our editor. And I don't mean taken like he doesn't work with us anymore, he does, but he has to dedicate time for her now, and sometimes that gets in the way of our projects. Also, one of Bao's music video editors is the one that did the Boss Rush music video, and we're 99% sure she told him not to do any more with us.
So... who is Bao? Was that Cinder's old name? But like when she did like the Gooner ASMR thingy? No, it's Tashi. Tashi was the old name that Cinder was. I don't know who this Bao character is. I guess that's like a newer... Okay.
But like model art is the most important thing, that's a VTuber's entire image. Well, we love working with you.
Am I just fucking stupid? I don't know who this Bao person is.
Cinder wouldn't be Cinder without Nano. Okay, but like let me tell you the tea about the music video thing. Bao had original songs last year that had music videos by her editor, and the songs flopped. Her editor met us at TwitchCon and was saying that he'd love to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something
TwitchCon
planned.
cringe. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Boss Rush music video between...
TwitchCon is very expensive though. I mean, props to people who can actually like go and like make it meaningful. So...
his work with Bao, he says he loved working on it and is super excited to work on the next music video project. The Boss Rush song blows up and he's credited as the editor. I ask him when he's free to do the next project. All of a sudden he changes his mind and is only working with Bao going forward. No explanation. Now,
okay. I mean, that's kind of shitty, but that's not really like, I don't know, it doesn't really seem like much. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's shitty. Like, that's definitely not cool. I mean, if it's definitely something that's, like, repeated behavior, you know, definitely don't work with them going forward. I definitely think it's, like, worth a conversation. Maybe, like, voice your concern about it. It doesn't seem like this is public, though. This is just DMs between Nanolist and Redacted, so...
Nanolist replies with a panicking emoji, and then Redacted continues, there's some context missing since we know how Bao is behind the scenes, but basically, we don't have a music video editor now for our next Boss Rush project. We think Bao got pissed that her editor did an original song music video for her friends without her knowing, and it did 100 times better than her original songs last year, that she locked him up so no one else could work with him. And then had him make it public on Twitter that he was only working with her going forward, like a literal announcement tweet. And now she's been barking up the tree of one of our live 2D animators, so like in you, and in Nano model. Nano replies with, yeah, looking for me sounds sus for sure. Redacted says it's so annoying. I don't know, man. She has a way of guilt-tripping people to get her way. So these...
Interesting. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna look something up. Who is this Bao person? Give me a second. Oh, okay, so it's this Bao the Whale person. And apparently, if you go to their YouTube channel, it's... oh, they're live right now. But apparently, they do, like, all these things. They like do all these like VTuber like animation stuff. They like post some of their VODs. They're just like another streamer. Okay. They do stream highlight shorts, and they also do music stuff. Okay, gotcha. So that's who Bao is. I didn't know who this Bao character was. I'm not really educated on VTuber lore, just to be absolutely clear. Gotcha.
These are the DMs from January, and it's already looking kind of bad. Nano continues in the document saying, Red asked me to cancel on one of their closest friends, Bao, by asking me to cancel my work mid-progress, manipulating me into thinking it is okay since she has many connections and she'll be fine anyway, so I wouldn't feel guilty about it or worry too much. It was and is upsetting to me that Red contacted me specifically to check on me canceling the model I had planned with Bao.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's shitty, but it's like, based on, like, we're about to be 10 minutes into this video, but, this probably didn't need to make it to the internet if this is, like, the extent of all the allegations. I'm sure we're gonna get more, but, like, so far, based on what I'm seeing, it's like, this is just shitty behavior. Probably you don't need to, like, make this to the internet, you know?
So these DMs are from August 2024 with Red messaging her saying, did you cancel models? Nano said, I did not. Red replies with, Nano arc delayed to 2026. Nano replies with, I'm scared to cancel with Bao, to which Red says, you shouldn't be. She has so many connections. She'll find someone super fast. Did you already design her outfit? I remember her showing it to us at WeepCon, to which Nano says, yeah, I can give her the design for free as an apology gift. This is so scummy, man. You have to understand, commissioning a VTuber model is a very lengthy process. Everything from the initial concept, to the design, to the rigging, to the testing. If you don't pay extra, it might take a year. If you pay double, it might take a few months, but it takes a while anyway. And finding someone who's both talented and has a free schedule is almost impossible. So this idea of,
yeah, I mean, it sounds like it takes a while to do that. Yeah, sure.
oh, she has so many connections, is very insensitive and scummy. Nano clearly is nervous and doesn't—
Sensitive and scummy. I mean, yeah, it's shitty. I don't know if I'd use the word scummy. I feel like that's a little bit disproportionate. Again, I would say it's definitely a shitty thing to do, and it's not cool. In some cases, you could even make the argument that it's unprofessional as well if you're doing it as like if you're like getting paid to make VTuber models and stuff, but like so far it just doesn't really seem that like crazy. I don't know, it just seems shitty.
want to cancel, but Red keeps pressuring her to do so. Such weirdo behavior. Nano continues in the document in the next section, titled Exclusivity and Blacklisting Other Creators.
Ooh, damn, that's a hell of an allegation. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know, it could be a hell of an allegation. It could also, I don't know, I'd have to see what this means, you know? We're only 10 minutes in.
In the messages below, they mentioned wanting an exclusivity contract, but they didn't want to pay for exclusivity. But rather, when a creator from their blacklist comes asking for a commission, they would guarantee me—
So, what does that mean, exclusivity? Does that mean exclusive to making VTuber models or emotes or, like, any, like, assets related just to that content creator only? And they said in the messages below, so we're about to see the messages soon.
Model work for
I'm
Sinder.
just like, I'm asking a lot of questions because there's a lot of stuff that's a little bit alien to me. I'm trying to tie in my old Twitch lore to this because I know that heavily ties into that, or aspects of it does anyway.
Only, and if anyone asked me for commissions, they commission me instead to compensate for not working with other creators. This felt very—
To compensate not working for other creators. Okay, that's interesting. So why would they want this exclusivity contract? Maybe it's because, I don't know.
strange, given that one of the accusations they made was overworking their editor, yet their solution to me working with other creators was for them to essentially overwork me to keep me from working on other projects. The messages below—
To keep you from working on other projects. Why would they want to do that, though? I mean, like, the exclusivity contract is very strange for Sir. Maybe, is it more of like an efficiency kind of thing where it's like, okay, if you don't work for other creators, and this is just me theorizing, maybe because you don't work for other creators, maybe you'll be more efficient with getting assets like VTuber models or other stuff done for Sinder faster? Or is this more of like gatekeeping from like others as like a malicious thing? I really don't know. I don't know why they would do that. Okay.
showed that their
I would definitely have to see some proof for
primary
that.
concern is that the more non-Cinder models I make, the less valuable my existing models become. It's hard to say how much this messed with my mind as an artist that by working with other people, I'm somehow making my existing models less special. The following screenshot is one of them setting up the blacklist, saying I'm not allowed to work with any new clients or create any new outfits for VTuber 1 specifically, and justifying those things by saying that with each model, my art becomes less unique and special, and therefore Cinder somehow will become less special.
That's definitely not true. Every emote artist, VTuber person that models VTubers, like everyone that makes assets to some degree is like unique in their own right, so that's definitely not true.
The idea that my work as an artist and designer is devalued by working with other people is insane and hurtful. After realizing what taking a deal with them would really mean for both my workload and my mental health, I backed out.
Okay. So you didn't sign the contract. All right. So why are we including this in the document then? So if you never wound up doing it, why is this here?
So this first screenshot is also from January 2025, very recent, and it starts off with Redacted saying, I mean, like, if we wanted to have some kind of model exclusivity, what would you need to make that sustainable for you? Nano replies with, maybe you can share one of your ideas and I can check what I think. Half an hour passes by, Redacted doesn't say anything, Nano says something, and it's, okay, so I got some ideas for this, I guess. Redacted says, I was driving, what are you thinking? Nano says, okay, so I asked help from my friends, they don't know it's you, so don't worry. So a monthly fee, calculating my monthly earnings, also how long would this be, and if this counts for models I already worked on? Redacted replies with, well, I think the main things we're looking for are for you to not take any brand new model clients and to not make any new models outfits for blank again. So this is them deliberately targeting one VTuber in particular. Anyway.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of shitty. Do we know... I mean, okay, they say again, which implies that Nanolist was already making assets for whoever this other VTuber was anyways. You'd still be able to work on model/outfits with other existing babies, and your artwork commissions wouldn't be... affected. So they are specifically targeting one person. This is them being very malicious with it. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's very shitty. That's definitely very, very shitty. 100%. That's definitely shitty.
He continues, you'd still be able to work on models/outfits with all of your other existing babies, and your artwork commissions wouldn't be affected. One of our concerns is that more nano babies means nano models don't have the same value anymore. And by the way, guys, when he says nano babies, it's a VTuber term, so typically people who will make your model are called Papa or Mama, and the VTuber commissioning them is their baby, okay? Yeah, I know it's weird if you're not into VTubers, okay? You don't...
Okay, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't know that, because I'm not a cringe VTuber.
Have to tell me, but now you know. Anyway, he continues, and second is that there's a few people that we just would rather not be able to have a model from you. Maybe not any new babies at all. The reason...
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely very spiteful. This definitely demonstrates very spiteful intention from Redacted. I guess kind of from Sinder as well, by association. I was under the impression, and maybe they'll go into it later, I was always under the impression that Redacted and Sinder were, like, secretly dating or something. I have no idea. Or maybe Sinder was dating someone else. I have no idea.
And why I brought this up at all is that there's been a lot of bias with another one of our partners with certain creators. And
the reason I brought this up is there's been a lot of bias. Another one of our partners... we'd rather these creators not have what Sinder makes unique, which is your artwork. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely gatekeeping to some extent. It definitely shows they are targeting people, for sure. But, I think what I draw from this, right, is I don't know if this Redacted person is being truthful about it or not, but maybe they're like, sorry, I need to gather my thoughts for a moment, because this is a lot. This is a little bit of a complicated situation. I get wanting to make your VTuber models unique. I get wanting to make art unique, but I don't think that having an exclusivity contract, if you consent to it, then it would be a much different story. If, like, you actually consent to the exclusivity contract, then, again, I think that's a different story. Then this would absolutely be a nothing burger. But I think what makes this really complicated is the fact that I don't know if it necessarily is malicious. It definitely, I am leaning towards it being malicious based on how this is being described. But I guess we'll see.
We'd rather these creators not have what makes Sinder unique, which is your artwork, just drama. An hour later, Redacted comes up with an idea, saying, what about we can pay blank for you, and you don't have to discount it from the next payment, and we'll continue giving you lots of model work, I think around 4 this year right now, but you don't work with blank, blank, or blank at all again, model...
Oh, okay, so this is multiple... They're targeting multiple people.
Or art. I don't think you've ever done anything with blank or blank before. We also have another gamer subs label for you too, the AFK. This is absolutely wild. Look at how many people they're blacklisting over here, okay? Nanolist replied...
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely very, I don't know. It definitely is striking me as very malicious, to be honest with you. This is definitely a very malicious thing to do, for sure.
Is there any way to add a little bit more since blank still asks for art every now and then? Redacted says, we could do it like when blank asks for art, you tell her no, and then tell us so that we buy another art piece. Like, so you still get a job from it. Now, I'm sure you're wondering who these censored creators in the message are. Well, now we know. This is the full message. With Redacted...
oh, with Bao, the music creator. Okay.
It's saying you don't work with Bao, Cotton, or Blank at all again, models or art.
Oh, we don't know
think you've ever done anything with
You lied to me, video creator. Fucking bitch. You lied to me.
Bao or Cotton before? These are, again, very big independent VTubers that call Sinder a friend. This is one of the most shameless...
Yeah, and so also Nanolist apparently did work for them before. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this is very shitty behavior, for sure. This is definitely very, very shitty behavior.
Things I've ever seen. Gatekeeping art from friends and also gaslighting a very talented artist. It's wild.
Okay, I don't know about that. That's a little bit, gaslighting is a a heavy insinuation. I don't know if it's gaslighting. Gaslighting implies that they're actively trying to tell them information that's not true. So far, Redacted hasn't done anything that would suggest that, but this is malicious behavior. The reason it's important to bring that up is because I do believe in proportionality.
Wild. Now bear in mind, there's a VTuber that's still censored here, and throughout the document you'll see a person of interest called VTuber1. Those got revealed later, and we'll talk about them in this video, so don't worry. Nano then continues in the document saying, another example of speaking ill of other creators right after they saw I was working with Shy Lily, trying to once again make the idea of working with other clients seem like I am setting myself up with problematic people who will do me no good in the long run to get me to reconsider working with them. They also...
That is a bit of a heavy insinuation. Based on the screenshots we saw, there is nothing like that. Based on what I'm seeing, it's more of an exclusivity thing. If you have proof of this, definitely show it. Maybe they'll show it later, for all I know. But it is a bit of a heavy insinuation. From what we read, it just seemed like they wanted an exclusivity contract to make what Sinder was had unique. What made Sinder Sinder. Which, again, is very shitty. If they were already doing work for all these other VTubers, that's still very malicious and shitty behavior, 100%. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they are insinuating that they're problematic people. We didn't really see anything like that just yet. But I could be wrong
about my other clients' plans, which for them made the antenna go up and immediately went into slandering Lily. And when Nano says Lily, she of course means Shy Lily. They consistently try to reassure me that despite their best efforts, they just happen to keep trying to bring drama in as reasons for me to go exclusive, and that working only with Sinder is them trying to look out for me. So this is extremely recent, like a couple of weeks ago, right? In mid-April 2025, with Redacted saying, hey Nano, do you have more plans with Lily besides just the model, like outfits or merch or anything? Nano says, been just the model so far, to which Redacted says, okay, her asking you for a model recently just made the antenna go up. She's been acting weird towards Sinder lately, and we don't know if something's going on. Nano
okay.
says, oh, that's weird. Redacted says, ever since after V-Card launched, which is a VTuber trading card game that Shy Lily helped launch. Nanolist says, but what do you consider weird? And Redacted says, lately dipping out of collabs they were both a part of at the last minute and now ghosting her messages. Cinder's raided her a couple times on Twitch in the past week, and Lily won't acknowledge Sinder by name. Just like pretty weird, petty stuff. I don't know. Nano says, that's super weird since they both share the same store.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. To me, this could be just like, hey, I'm just talking to a friend about this, like, drama that's, like, happening. This doesn't really seem like trying to manipulate someone to not like them. It's just, like, sort of, I don't know. It's like maybe, like, someone venting to someone else. It could, at worst, it could be, like, inappropriate, but it's, on its own, I wouldn't really say it's, like, problematic.
Referring to gamer subs that they both have partial ownership in, and Redacted says, around V-Card's launch, they were talking and collabing, and I don't know what happened, but her asking you for a model after that was just weird, even though she said she doesn't plan on getting a new model anytime soon. I don't know, hate that we keep bringing you into drama, to which Nano says, yeah, I thought it was quite early to go for a new model. Redacted says, feels like we're gonna have to compete with Lily if she's ghosting Sinder and wants the same model mama. So of course, I don't have to tell you, Shy Lily is also one of the biggest independent VTubers on the planet, and she is someone that considered Sinder a friend. Now we have proof that she was backstabbing her, too. Nano continues
No, I didn't really quite catch that from these screenshots. This doesn't really seem like backstabbing. I don't know. Like I said, the worst thing that we have so far in this story is, like, trying to siphon away their, like, VTuber model maker away from other creators when they have already done previous work from them. That's shitty. But there's a lot of insinuations here that I don't know. Something about it feels off. You know what I mean? Something about the way this story is being told it's very off. I can't really lay my finger on it. There's a lot of insinuations that are made that aren't really quite accurate. I don't know if it's, like, malicious by the person writing this doc, which is this Nanolist person, but, okay. Yeah.
Document. The idea that they need to stay informed and gauge the competition is extremely upsetting and toxic to me. The competition they're referring to are people I thought they considered friends who always helped, supported, and platformed Sinder. When I pushed back, the immediate response was blaming the other creators and implying that they initiated it by trying to work with me and that somehow justified their
did you push back?
actions. They imply Shy Lily ignored Sinder when she spent over a minute thanking the raid, which you can see in this clip. Let's watch it together.
Ignore what you just saw. Okay. Ooh! Oh my goodness! Hello! Oh! Hello, raiders! Hello! I am playing Berserker. It's called The Last Berserker Kazan. We were sponsored, but the game was really fun, so I just kept playing for like a million more hours.
I'm gonna light my fucking face on fire. Holy fuck, dude.
Hello, everyone!
Sorry, that was a little mean. I don't actually hate this, like, Shy Lily person, just to be clear. I don't actually have anything against them. That was a little mean, I'm sorry.
Hello! The Pyro Pop raid! Hello, Pyro Pops! What did you guys do? I am low-key addicted. I usually... Okay, so most people know me for my gacha addiction, but
Right, so I think that's enough proof to see that she acknowledged the raid and did her best to interact with her and her community when they raided her. So this idea that she ignored her completely is totally false. And I think it was just them hoping that
hold on a second. Hold on. Let's go back. No, this screenshot right here. Cinder raided her a couple times in the past week, and Lily won't acknowledge Cinder by name. So if you look at the wording of redacted, no, that I don't like the representation here, because if you watch that clip again, she doesn't actually say Cinder. She acknowledges the raid, but she won't say Cinder by name. Not once did redacted ever mention that she, or that they didn't mention, not once were they alleging that Lily ignored her at all. They're just saying, if you read carefully, Lily won't acknowledge Cinder by name. Now watch the clip again with that understanding.
Ignore what you just saw. Okay. Ooh! Oh my goodness! Hello! Oh! Hello, raiders! Hello! I am playing Berserker. It's called The Last Berserker Kazan. We were sponsored, but the game was really fun, so I just kept playing for like a million more hours. Hello, everyone! Hello!
Yeah. No, I mean, like, listen, they acknowledge the raid. Obviously, they have to acknowledge a raid. When you get raided on Twitch, like, typically you do have to acknowledge it, unless you're, like, super big, like XQC or Kai Senat. But, like, that does lend a little bit of credibility to Redacted when you think about it, actually, because Lily didn't acknowledge Cinder by name here. So, like, again, he wasn't really lying at all. So I don't know. There's something very wrong about the way this information is being portrayed, to be absolutely honest. Like, it's actually kind of, I don't know. You guys are starting to lose me a little bit, not gonna lie. Because that does lend a little bit of credibility.
Hello, Pyro Pops! What did you guys do? I am low-key addicted. I usually, okay, so most people know me for my gacha addiction, but
Right, so I think that's enough proof to see that she acknowledged the raid and did her best.
No, she didn't acknowledge Cinder by name, and that was what the original claim of what Redacted said. Just to be absolutely clear.
Interact with her and her community when they raided her. So this idea that she ignored her completely is totally false.
That's not what he said. He said they were ignoring and not naming Cinder specifically. That's not at all what Redacted said.
And I think
in the screenshot, if you look back in the screenshot, you can see what Redacted actually claimed.
That Nano would be too lazy to actually find the stream itself and see Shy Lily's real reaction to the raid. Again, very scummy behavior. On that same day...
Not really. How is it scummy? What the okay. Yeah, you guys are starting to lose me very quickly. I don't know. I was with you on, like, the maliciously trying to siphon away, like, VTubers to, like, from assets, but, like, right now, I don't know.
Redacted and Nano kept DMing each other, with Redacted saying, "Real, is it just Cinder and Blank you've been doing continuous model outfits for? We'll have the demon update list plus Final Arcade reference for you as soon as it's finished," to which Nano says, "I think it is. I have an outfit for Blank planned too. As for Blank, got nothing for now, but she always comes up with something." Redacted asks, "Do you know who's rigging Shy Lily's model?" Nano List says, "Gonna be Blank," to which she replies with, "Thanks, Nano. Sorry for all the questions. Just gotta stay informed, especially when it comes to our top artist. Never a break."
Okay, I mean, it's a little bit weird. It's not really any of your business, Redacted, but again, on its own, I don't care about any of this.
Nano says, "Don't worry, just don't stress too much with the side things. It's bad for balding." Redacted replies with, "I'm gonna go bald now. I'll keep you in the loop about anything else going on with that." Nano replies with, "The balding?" And Redacted says, "No, you fool, just stupid drama. Gotta stay competitive even when we shouldn't have to. Also, your profile picture looks like a guy with
yeah, it is a little bit, I don't know,
a mustache." And Nano says, "Don't go too far on the competitiveness. It can get bad. Gotta chill sometimes." To which Redacted says, "Hey, it's not us. We aren't."
You know, if you want to be super charitable, maybe Shy Lily didn't have any, like, ill will with it, like not mentioning Cinder by name. But, it's easy to get caught up in those Twitch spaces where all the, like, minor stuff can really get to you, because it's a very petty space on Twitch, just like everywhere on Twitch.
One's getting a model from the artist of the other GamerSubs owner out of the blue and ghosting them and refusing to acknowledge them. You know, this is made weirder by the fact that both Shy Lily and Cinder are co-owners of a company, and this is how Cinder is treating her. Her competitiveness knew no bounds. She would probably push a toddler off a bridge if it meant getting 100 extra viewers on Twitch.
That's a very, very insidious insinuation. We literally saw Redacted say, all we saw Redacted say was that, hey, you know, like, I'm noticing that, like, they're not mentioning Cinder by name. It's almost like they don't want to acknowledge it, but they still sort of feel pressured to acknowledge the raid to some extent. Again, his claim is credible. Like, based on everything he alleged and everything we saw, that is accurate. There's nothing... I just don't like the insinuation from this video creator. It's almost like they looked at the public opinion and they wanted to think of anything that would sway in the direction of that public opinion. I don't know. I don't really like the insinuation here at all.
Okay? Nano continues in the document saying, below I wanted to push back and make clear I was uncomfortable on being dragged into drama, and they responded by bringing up more drama and baseless claims, all while trying to guilt trip me. It is ironic and crazy to me that I mentioned not wanting to be dragged into personal issues.
That's fucking insane. Okay, now I think that this Nanolist person is like, I'm starting to get the feeling now that this is a little bit malicious now. Guilt tripping is a very, very huge claim. Again, at worst, it's kind of shitty that they wanted to do an exclusive contract with you and they offered and everything. First of all, you have every right to say no. First of all. It is shitty that they would want to siphon you from them. 100%, that is shitty behavior. But, like, what's being insinuated here is so much worse than it actually is. So, it's almost leading me to believe... I don't know, you're losing me very quickly here.
Only for them to on multiple occasions mention other people's alleged drama. So this is where things get real, because it's not Redacted doing the talking, it's Sinder directly.
Oh my god, okay. So these DMs are back in February 2025, okay, sure, fine.
DMs were from February 11th, 2025, so just a couple months ago, and it starts with Nano saying, Sinder, just wanted to say sorry for stepping back on the exclusivity deal. Wanted to apologize personally to you since I've only talked about that with Red.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. You stepped back from it, you didn't want to do the exclusivity deal, that's fine. Okay, yeah, cool. That's like nothing. So yeah, case closed. That's it.
Just don't want to be dragged on any personal issues like that. After all, Blank is still a client, and it makes me anxious and kind of destroys my mental to do this kind of deal. Just wanted to let you know I still love working with you in Red, but I'll understand if things doesn't work out because of Blank. I just love my clients.
See, that's a good boundary set. You set a good boundary there. That's fine.
3 hours later, Cinder replies with, I get it, Nano, and it was unfair to push this on you, but it's just really confusing going back and forth about it. I just get compared to her a lot, even still today, and it's like I'm always living in someone's shadow, which is one reason why Redacted asked about not making any more models for her. And when you said, I understand if things don't work out, it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me anymore, which hurts so much after all this time. I really appreciate you, Nano, and it's your decision who you ultimately work with, but this is how I've been feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's valid. I wouldn't doubt that Cinder actually feels this way, to be honest with you. Again, I do think it's kind of shitty to put that on a emote artist, but like, or a VTuber model or whatever, but like, do better. That's all. Just learn better boundaries and think of it from their perspective. That's really it. You guys are setting good boundaries here. I'm not really seeing anything malicious here.
Nano continues in the DMs, replying with, I don't really see the point of keeping thinking about being compared to Blank. You're so much bigger already. You've done so much more. But I would never give Blank any priority over you. Also, there's not even any model for her being discussed. I just want to sleep clear-minded. Also, I'm fine not doing her models, but at least GamerSup's art stuff would be fine with me. I don't want to be 100% an asshole to her, that's all. And Cinder replies with, it's not me, but other people's opinions of this. And I'm just trying to not get involved in any drama that other people want to talk about comparing us. But I understand where you're coming from, Nano. There's no hard feelings. And Nano says, sorry about this. My mental is just a bit weak.
Okay, cool, fine. Like, this is all fine. Like, you guys are just working out boundaries. You're talking about it, and that's what normal people do. They talk about stuff, and they try to work out problems, not fucking airing it out on the internet to try to get someone canceled, which is, like, we're 20 minutes into this, and so far, that kind of just seems like what this is, to be absolutely honest with you.
Cinder says, same girl, to which Nano says, I'm sorry for bringing this to you. Cinder then replies with, I want you to get that money. The whole situation is just kind of sucky. I want to just get along. And then Nano specifies that the phrase that she said, I understand if things didn't work out, meant that it would be mostly if you hate me for not burning Blank down from my list. To which Cinder reassures her saying, I would never hate you. And Nano said, thank you, and same, I'm just an insecure bitch. Cinder ends this conversation by saying, I love everything we've done together and I want to keep doing more. People saying dumb shit online just makes me stressed. Nano continues in the document, saying, I
feel that, Cinder. There's a lot of dumb motherfuckers online that say a lot of dumb shit. Like this person putting out this document. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe it's, if I'm going to be charitable, maybe it's not malicious, but the fact they're putting this out and they're using a lot of loaded language is very, I don't know. It's, I've seen a lot of really dumb allegations on the internet, so maybe I'm just black-pilled. I don't fucking know.
Justifying their behavior by stating they are simply looking out for me when none of this has anything to do with me to begin with, and manipulating me into being grateful for earning well thanks to them despite the loss of work from long-time returning clients and new clients. As you can see, this is already a handful, and we're barely halfway through this document. It gets worse. The next section in the document is called Concerning My Work and Models as a Team. Another example of going after other clients of mine.
So far, this is a lot of nothing. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. So far, there's a lot of nothing. So the fact that you're saying it gets worse, all right. Yeah, I guess I'll take your word for it. I don't fucking know.
Before, claiming that having more clients alongside them makes my work less special, with the recurrence of it's just business, manipulating me into believing that working with her is special for multiple reasons and that I risk losing that special something as a client if I prefer to work with others. No acknowledgement of my reasoning and need of working with other clients due to the nature of my work, solely focused on their issues.
Well, based on your definition of manipulation and gaslighting, which none of it was present in the last chapter, I just have a hard time believing that we're going to see any of that in this chapter unless you can show something very explicit. So far, I haven't really seen anything that's, like, super cancel-worthy. Just, like, shitty. Maybe Cinder is, like, a little bit, not so capable of boundaries, but that's about it. So, I mean, whatever. Well, I guess we'll see what we have. I'll give it a chance. I don't really have high hopes based on, like, your perception of what manipulation and gaslighting is, to be absolutely... If I'm keeping it 100 with you.
I would also like to note again that this screenshot is one of many occasions that indicate that Red speaks on Cinder's behalf. I was originally concerned with everything going through Red, that it may not have been 100% of Cinder's feelings or wants. I messaged her about it to make sure that he spoke on her behalf and confirmed with both of them this was the case. So this is...
Okay, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that they are speaking on... Redacted is speaking on Cinder's behalf. Like, I wouldn't doubt that, but that doesn't really necessarily mean anything to me.
Some people read only the first few pages of the document and concluded, wait, this isn't Cinder, this is just her manager. He's probably speaking on her behalf and she has no idea. Well, this right here confirms, no, not only was she aware of what he was saying, but she fully agreed with everything her manager said.
Okay, who cares?
These DMs date back to November of 2023, and
Hey, it's my birthday, November 26th. It's my birthday. Us Sagittariuses are superior. Not really, to be honest with you. We're just kind of lazy for the most part. We don't really give a fuck. It is what it is.
It's Nano starting off the conversation saying, hey Cinder, hope you're doing okay. I talked with Red and I believe he talked to you already and I thought it would be best if I just check you personally. Actually, I wanted to know better your thoughts because Red tried to talk to me and I think I misunderstood things. To which Cinder says, I'm doing good. What's up, Nano? Nano then says, oh, it's mostly about this. And it's a screen cap of what Red said in their DM saying, not to discredit any of your work because everything you work on is the top of the line incredible, but when everyone's a Nano baby, it feels less special to be one, if that makes sense. Kind of been getting the same feeling from gamer subs lately too. To which Nano says, I thought on canceling some models because of it, but then I realized it's not really fair to me. To which Cinder replies with, I understand what he means, but at the end of the day, it's just business. Bro, what is this, the mafia? Pointing a gun at your head and before shooting you saying it's nothing personal, it's just business? What the hell is this? She then...
What? That's... okay.
Continues, of course we love working with you and want to keep working together, but if you prefer to work with other clients instead of me, I know it's for a reason for you to help grow and not because you don't like me. Being one of your very first model babies was so amazing. I was happy to be able to find someone to help you with live 2D cutting to improve your skills, and I think that's a big part of why I love the 1.0 model and then started asking you for them. I can have Redacted send you a list of our plans for the future and estimated due dates, so just let us know what you actually want to work on. That way I have time to look for someone else if you don't have time for my projects or don't want to do them. It feels special to only have your model art for all my outfits, but just let me know if you don't have time for me to be an exclusive Nano art baby anymore.
I mean, they never really established any exclusive contracts at this point, so okay.
But then replies with, it's no personal reason. I would never do something like this to you or anyone, but yeah, it's important for my job to reach far, and I like working on different projects and people. I never ever said I don't want to work with you anymore. I told Red that even though I have my other works, I will always have a way to get you a priority spot when possible. You'll always be my special baby. Cinder replies with, I also think it's important for you to work on projects that you're excited about, so I'll go through my plans with Red and send you our ideas to see if it's possible with your schedule. I know he can be a little pushy sometimes, but it's because he's just doing business for me to grow too, and he absolutely loves your work just as much as I do. Nano says it's okay. We'll update you guys ASAP, and Cinder says sounds good to me.
Yeah, I just don't care about any of this. Whatever. I don't care. This is like,
Nano continues in the document, saying, Red tries to make it look like they never meant for it to appear like they wanted me to be exclusive by framing it as something I wanted, while immediately doubling down on the fact that me working with more
That's not at all what they said. If you go back in the screenshots, that is not at all what they said. No, they said that I can have Red send you a list of our plans in the future and estimated due dates. So just let us know what you actually want to work on. That way, I have time to look for someone else, but if you don't have time, my projects are wanting to do them. It feels special to only have models for your outfits, but it's okay. Like, it's fine. Basically, what I'm getting at is Cinder saying, hey, it's kind of disappointing if you don't want to do this anymore, but I respect it. Like, you guys are just working out like business here. They're not framing it in any insidious way at all. What the fuck are you talking about?
With, it's no personal reason. I would never do something like this to you.
That is so different than what I'm seeing in the fucking screen. Dude, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
okay.
It's important for my job to reach far, and I like working on different projects and people. I never ever said...
I don't imagine this drama's gonna get any worse. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not...
Even though I have my other works, I will always have a way to get you a priority spot.
This is
insane. You'll always be my special baby. Cinder replies with, I also think it's important for you to work on projects that you're excited about.
Okay, let's go back. Sorry. I forgot. Let's go back.
Between Nano and Redacted, in which Nano says, so it's about working with Cinder. My friends told me it's a bit unfair for me to stop working other models, so I do more for Cinder, which I agree with them. I'm a free artist, and I should do whatever I want to do. I don't want to take sides on any drama or situations. I still will always have a way to have open slots for Cinder.
I mean, again, you're setting proper boundaries for this. Is fine. Yeah.
Cinder, but I won't be having her as my only customer. Redacted says, I agree. You're a free artist and you should do what you want, but I was under the impression that taking on more Cinder work is what you wanted to do. I didn't think it was like we were making you do that. Nano...
That's... okay. Hold on. I agree, you're a free artist. You should do what you want to do, but I was under the impression... Okay, I mean, just sounds like a misunderstanding. I don't really think this is, like, manipulative.
But it says, guess we got a misunderstanding on both sides? It's more about this. And she replies with the initial message from Redacted in which she was like, yeah, not to discredit your work or anything, but whenever you work with other clients, it makes your work less special, right? To which Redacted says, oh, I see. I mean, what I said is still true about how we feel, but I wasn't saying you had to only do Cinder work from now on. Bro.
Well, I mean, that was kind of what you were insinuating, for sure. And you definitely were trying to siphon people away. So, it definitely was what you were insinuating, for sure. But, I really just don't think any of this is that big of a deal, to be absolutely honest with you.
What the hell is this, man? He then continues, that's with anything though, not just your work. If you have something special and then everyone wants and gets that thing, it makes it less special. I'm sorry you were under the impression we were trying to make you only do work for us. I will keep things more business talk and less emotional, lol. Just let me know how this will affect your schedule so I can tell Cinder after. Sorry for the stress, Nano. To which she replies with, but every single model I do is unique and I make them special in their way. It's not like I'm selling Cinder to everyone. Please don't feel this way. Redacted then says, no, I know. You pour your heart and soul into your models and they're all incredible. And Nano ends this conversation with, I'm sorry I made you both feel this way too. So textbook manipulation, textbook gaslighting.
No, this is definitely not manipulation. This kind of just seems like a bit of a, this just seems like a huge misunderstanding. That's really all this is. This is a misunderstanding. Like I said, the DMs we saw earlier in like February or January of 2025, I'm trying to get like the timeline in my head, right? The DMs we saw around then is essentially, like, that is shitty for sure, but this right here is not manipulation, because this was way before that was even the case, before they even proposed the idea of, like, any contract or whatever. This is definitely not textbook gaslight or manipulation. I really, I don't know, it kind of just strikes me, like, if you look at this fucking video creator, this Muujin person or whatever,
okay,
shut the fuck up, shut up. This person is, are they also a VTuber? Let's look at their Twitch. Shut the fuck up. I think they're also a VTuber as well, right? Yeah, they are also a VTuber, right? Okay. Well, so maybe they're coming at it with, like, a different perspective, just, like, altogether. But, like, this isn't textbook manipulation. This isn't textbook gaslighting. This is just insane. Like, that, like, I just don't like how we're, like, overloading the conversation for, like, literally no reason here. It's just very, it's just something about the way this information is just being portrayed is just very, very disproportionate to what's actually happening.
Textbook backstabbing. I mean, is there anything
views did this video get? 2.6 million. Jesus Christ, dude.
Here that doesn't scream manipulation to you? Reading through these DMs, I feel very sorry for
It doesn't scream manipulation to me at all, to be honest. It just looks like two people working out boundaries. That's, like, literally it. They're just talking about what it, like, means. And, like, Nanolist was setting proper boundaries as well. And they have every right to say no as well. So, yeah.
And she clearly loves to make art and is so conflicted here.
Put your dick in the ground. It is what it is.
But at the same time, her gut feeling tells her something's wrong. These are very unreasonable demands. Anyway, the document continues. It's simply business. Normalizing their behavior once again.
I'm just in a goofy mood. I don't know.
Stating that it's simply business to sabotage other VTubers' careers and not work with them and focus on Cinder instead.
I don't really...
This is again from November 2023, which Redacted says, it's okay, Nano. You're just making a living and making a name for yourself, and I can't blame you for accepting work from other big names in the industry and having very desirable talent.
Yeah, I mean, you understand that very clearly, so, like, that's fine, yeah.
If you end up feeling your...
Like I said, it's definitely shitty. The DMs later are what I, like, have the biggest problem with. Like I said, at worst, it is a little bit slimy to say, hey, let's do an exclusive contract and you do this, this, and this, but you said no as well. But I don't think that is a condemnation of Cinder's, like, entire character necessarily. It just seems like they wanted to do an exclusive contract because of the way they were being compared to other VTuber models, and they wanted to stand out and be unique. That's really it. It was a business strategy. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, it is just business. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But, like, Nanolist has every right to say no. If they were putting Nanolist in a position where Nanolist did not have an option to say no and they were forced to do it exclusively, then it would be a lot more insidious. I would have a very, very different opinion. But so far, Nanolist is not really being put in a position where he or she could say no. So, so far, I'm not seeing anything that's, like, worth talking about, to be absolutely real with you. And this part of it probably didn't need to be public. If we're just going to be absolutely truthful with you.
Model schedule again like it was, let me know. We'll have to replan some things depending on that. Nano replies with, thank you for understanding my side. We're all trying to have our names somewhere. Just don't take this personal or anything. I still love working with you guys. And again, apologize for the trouble on your plans. I'll still revisit my list and see what I got. He then says, business is business. If you want to go through the projects we talked about and let me know which ones you'd want to do too. Later on, Redacted replies to another message from Nano in which he says, I don't want to take any sides on any drama or situation. And he says, is this about blank model Nano? Nano says, yeah, I want to take it, but I don't want to disrespect Cinder. I just want to do pretty models, no hurt feelings.
This is fine. Like, who cares about any of this?
Says, business is business.
Who actually, like, sits and is like, oh my god, this is manipulation. Holy fuck. I care so much. Who gives a fuck? Who actually gives a fuck about any of this? What the fuck?
To which Nano replies with a crying emoji. Redacted replies with, Nano, you're a freelance artist.
How is this manipulation? You alleged that this is gaslighting and manipulation earlier. How the fuck is this? Dude, what the fuck is happening?
Blank is a longtime client, so it makes sense to continue doing work for her. I understand the logistics of it. At the end of the day, you need to do what's best for you. Nano replies with, I really appreciate for understanding my side. I do understand your side too, but sadly it's something between you two, not me. I shouldn't get involved in this fight. I just go art.
Alright, cool. Yeah, you're not getting involved in drama. Cool, we get it. Whatever.
Redacted then says, right, I know, I just didn't
none of this is manipulation or gaslighting, just to be absolutely clear with you.
Our conversation sounded like I was trying to make you not work with her on a model, like Blank specifically. Nano then says, maybe I just consider the situation too much. My mistake for thinking this way. And he says, it's okay. Then Nano says, but are we good for real? This feels like a weird breakup. I'm stressing. And Redacted says, me and you are good, but I still have to tell all this to Sinder. It'll be fine. Don't worry. I think she's still.
This is fine. Like, this is like really, it's really not that deep.
This
is really not that
back and
deep.
forth. It's very exhausting to talk to people like this because in 2023, they made her think that by taking on other clients, her art meant less. Then when she confronted them about it, they were like, oh.
That is not at all what they said. No, they wanted Cinder's art to be more unique. They made an offer. Nanolist said no. And in the beginning, they tried to have an exclusivity deal, which could be I don't blame people for thinking that alone could seem like they're trying to siphon away their relationships with other VTubers, which is very inconsiderate, sure, but it's really not that deep. I really don't think it's that deep, to be honest with you. We do not need to overload the conversation with, like, manipulation and gaslight and just implying all these insidious things to them that are absolutely not in the proof of these fucking screenshots. This is fucking insane, dude. Holy fuck, man.
We never meant that we just want you to work on Cinder's models. Do what you gotta do. But then we saw very recent DMs from 2025 as well as 2024 in which they were telling her, do not work on models for these people in particular.
No, they were literally, dude, this fucking video creator is actually gonna give me Giardia. Holy fuck. That's not what they said. They were offering an exclusivity contract that was optional. Keyword, optional. You don't have to do it. You can say yes or no. Listen, I work for these other VTubers. I don't want to take this exclusivity deal. It is what it is. Like, okay, fine, whatever. You have to take some power back for yourself. They weren't saying, don't work for these creators or whatever. They weren't pressuring them into doing it. They weren't saying, if you don't work for these VTuber creators, I'll do this to you or whatever. Like, there's no leveraging any power whatsoever. There's nothing here. Like there's literally nothing here. This fucking video creator is, the way he's portraying this information is, like, actually gonna give me fucking Giardia. Holy fuck.
Just
like, you lost me so fast on this drama.
Worse and worse. Nano
and I was with you in, like, the first part of this video. I'd say, like, the first maybe, like, 10% of this video, I was with you, like, with, like, okay, this is definitely not good, let's look into it, but this is really fucking nothing.
Here's the document saying, damage control. Making sure none of this reaches the other VTubers and is all kept hush-hush, while also providing proof that they know what they do is ill-intended and should not get out, as it would cause issues for Cinder's career to be painted in this light. Note that the uncalled shot at VTuber 1 is even spoilered, a hidden message in Discord, so it wouldn't accidentally be leaked. This was from the same day.
I don't care.
In November 2023, a lot was revealed that day. Nano says, I try to be transparent as much as possible. I think it's more fair for both sides this way. And Redacted says, you didn't tell Blank you canceled because of Cinder, did you? And Nano said, no. I told all of them it was health issues. I would never blame anyone besides Blank. Redacted then says, lol, we never want to make you feel like we're making you or forcing you to work on / not work on something, especially if it's something you want to / don't want to do.
See, he's even saying here that we never want to have you force. Oh my fucking god, dude. He's literally admitting here that we're not going to make you work on anything. This is insane. This is fucking insane. The levels of insinuation in this drama is fucking killing me, dude.
The conversation the other day doesn't mean to convince you of only doing Cinder work. Again, sorry that it sounded to you like I was telling you to do only Cinder work. I'll message you later.
Oh my god.
Redacted and Cinder have been obsessed with just this one VTuber, always tracking what she's doing and not wanting her to hire Nanolist no matter what. Here you can see Redacted saying, well, let's see if Blank wants a nano model or not, and hope Blank finds someone else.
Okay, whatever. Why? What am I supposed to do with this?
Continues in the document saying the constant obsession with VTuber 1 and claiming that she's asking for it by causing this unspoken competition, which is coming from absolutely no other source than Cinder herself. So Cinder was convinced this VTuber was competing with her directly and wanted to steal her thunder. It's censored in this document, but will later.
No, well, kind of, but there's a very, very nasty insinuation that's being made when you say stuff like this. You're insinuating that Cinder is trying to maliciously take away their resources, which is just not the case. Like, at the end of the day, it really is just business. Like, at the end of the day, like, it really is just like, hey, you know, we would like to do an exclusivity contract, you know, like, make the art seem unique for the channel and the channel only. Like, it's, I don't think this is that deep.
Later find out who this is because
like, I already explained it earlier in the video, so if you want a full explanation of it, just fucking rewind the video.
She also made her own document. Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while. Nano's document ends with around 3 or 4 screenshots showing this
forward to it. Not.
obsession with this VTuber and the unhinged thought process that Redacted and Sinder had towards them. This is Redacted saying, I think it's more like wanting her to recognize Sinder even though it literally doesn't matter. I feel like there's this unspoken competition between them, like they need to one-up each other because blank can't get along. But I also understand her point of view. The new VTuber who people say looks, sounds, and acts like you becomes just as successful as you in a year. If she did recognize Sinder as an equal or a friend, then I would be like she's endorsing her copy. Or like I've seen some people say her replacement. They share a lot of the same audience too. Like at the end of the day, it isn't just about how much we make compared to her. We just want her to recognize, hey, Cinder's a big VTuber too. She got there on her own merits, just like you did. Get along. And the marketing potential and money they can make if they team up. I just know anything we do, she's watching and will take from or try to outdo. Oh my god. You know the spinning figure we have on stream? Blank's figure was announced on Wednesday. No spinning figure. Cinder debut Saturday. Everyone hears about it. Figure announced. Spinning figure on screen with exclamation mark figure right next to it. Blank streams yesterday. First stream since Cinder debut. Guess what? Spinning figure with exclamation mark figure next to it. Now this might seem confusing, but we were just talking about VTuber 1.
It's also worth noting that this is like the earliest in the timeline so far. This is July 2023, so it's the earliest in the timeline compared to everything else. I get why we led with the information about manipulation before. I get why they did that, but like still, this is still nothing. This is like very irrelevant. This really just strikes me as very terminally online drama, to be absolutely honest with you.
But there was another VTuber that both Sinder and Redacted were obsessed with, a Cerberus pup VTuber. Here we have Redacted talking about her mid-conversation, accusing her of copying Sinder every chance she got, saying that like a month later unfollowed her on Twitter and started taking her ideas, Cinder's ideas, like the flames, and now she's basically rebranded to more of a fire Cerberus, using fire emojis all the time, shaking my head. Never did that before. It's funny because she used to call herself a hellhound, but stopped when Cinder grew past her and now uses Cerberus, or Cerber pup, or whatever.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if she's like ripping her off necessarily. It's probably just a level of inspiration. I don't think there's like an insidious insinuation from Redacted. So far, I have no reason to believe that this person is being super, super malicious. Like, again, at worst, they're kind of shitty, and at worst, they probably have some boundary issues, same with Cinder, but, like, I doubt that they are, like, a threat to any community in the VTuber community or whatever. I doubt that they're a threat to Twitch. Like, to any of the communities, to be absolutely, like, real with you. And this probably didn't need to make it to the internet. Like, they probably weren't ripping her off, admittedly, like what Redacted is saying, but I don't think Redacted is, like, being malicious with this, his intention here.
Her lore says she is.
His or her intention.
No, Nano says the unfollow is weird, and then Redacted.
There's so many characters in this story that I've just lost fucking track. This whole thing is just so terminally online. Holy fuck.
It says, yeah, so it's like, there was also unprovoked tweets from her, like, I didn't copy anyone else for my design is all me, this is who I am. Like, huh? Who are you saying that to? Then he continues and says, oh, lol, on random Cinder clips on YouTube, there was one dedicated Blank fan or someone she knew, I don't know, that would comment on these clips, saying like, when are you going to clip Blank? Only on Cinder clips. Nano ends this document by saying, I'd like to highlight the irony of expecting to be entitled to recognition for her own efforts and size when her own active efforts are tied to sabotaging this very same VTuber. Also feeling entitled and insisting to be recognized by someone else is odd. Thanks for taking the time to read through everything. I hope everything makes sense and everyone who has been hurt, manipulated, or sabotaged by her will find closure.
Wait, that's it? That's everything you alleged? That's the whole document? Oh my god, I wish I got 30 minutes of my fucking life back. Holy fuck. Oh my god, that was the biggest boatload of nothing that I think I've ever fucking read in my entire life. Holy fuck. So, just to recap everything from this first document by Nanoless. At worst, Redacted and Cinder, they have some boundary issues. They probably shouldn't have said any of those things, being like, hey, let's do an exclusivity contract or whatever. They probably shouldn't have done that. I don't think Nanoless was pressured to do anything. They weren't pressured to say yes or no necessarily. Like, they have a right to say yes or no and like set proper boundaries. They both communicated proper boundaries to each other. You guys insinuated that the whole Lily thing that happened was a whole fucking lie on Redacted's part, but it wasn't a lie if you actually look very carefully. He never lied once about anything there. Yeah, this is fucking insane, dude. This is just terminally online drama.
So look, this whole idea of, oh my god, this VTuber's copying me or whatever, this isn't the first time we see it in the VTuber space. It happens more often than anyone would like.
Sure, I wouldn't doubt that, yeah.
Sinder, as well as Redacted, were taking it to a whole other level. They weren't just concerned by someone copying them, they were obsessed. And they were dragging their artist who has been loyal to them into this mess as well. It was a very, very bad look. Some people were analyzing some of the—
Sure, yeah, and I mean, that's a boundary issue for sure. That's definitely a huge boundary issue. But again, this is just very, like, this is just fucking terminally online. I just don't care. Like, I don't think it's that deep.
DMs between Sinder and Nano, and this part right here, where she says, being one of your very first model babies was so amazing, I was happy to be able to find someone to help you with live 2D cutting to improve your skills, and I think that's a big part why everyone loved the 1.0 model and then started asking you for them. Made people think like, wait, what are you saying here? Are you saying your skill is thanks to me because I found someone—
What? Wait, what was that? Being one of your very first VTuber models will say, I was so happy you were able to find someone to help you with your improving skills, and that's a big part of why everyone loved the 1.0 model and then started asking you for them. I mean, I don't think there's like any... Why am I supposed to believe that there's like a bad intention with this message? Maybe they like misspoke, or maybe, I don't know. To me, Sinder definitely strikes me as someone who has boundary issues, for sure. Like, Sinder and Redacted have boundary issues, 100%. I am willing to at least take that away from this part. But there is nothing here that leads me to believe that they were being malicious with any of this. What the fuck?
Model and then started asking you for them made people think like, wait, what are you saying here? Are you saying your skill is thanks to me because I found someone that can help your live 2D cutting? And the reason everyone even started to look for you is because they loved my model first? It seemed like Sinder believed Nanolist owed her for the success.
I don't think that's true at all, to be honest with you.
That she would be a nobody if it wasn't for Sinder. What a very weird attitude to have.
Oh, no. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. It didn't really seem super malicious when I read it. It kind of just seemed like a misspeak, or that Sinder maybe just has like some boundary issues. I don't know. It just seems like these VTubers are really obsessed with painting the situation in like the worst possible light it can be in. And so far, I'm just not getting that here. It's just the insinuations here are just really fucking killing me.
Additionally, here's a screenshot of all the models that Nanolist worked on. Oh my god, I have to censor that. Dude, her boobs are literally out of the outfit. What? Anyway, as you can see, they don't look the same at all. They're all very special and all have their unique traits. This idea that the more models she worked on would devalue her work as an artist...
It's a lot of goon material here, holy fuck.
...was a ridiculous claim to make, and everyone can...
Makes my cock real hard.
See that now. But speaking of everyone, what about her close friends that she backstabbed so shamelessly? What was their reaction? Well, Cottontail was one of the people mentioned in that document that both Sinder and her manager were trying to keep away from Nano, even though they were friends, in which Redacted...
I don't even believe that, to be honest with you. A lot of the insinuations have been so incorrect. I just don't have a reason to believe this, but okay. Let's investigate.
It says, you don't work with Bao, Cotton, or Blank at all again. She tweeted this, saying, this made my stomach drop to read. It makes me very sad to have things come out like this, sending Nano and Bao so much love.
Whatever. This was just like an offer of exclusivity. That's really it. This was a exclusivity offer for making unique models for Sinder. That's really, like, that's all this was. Whatever. I don't care. This is very irrelevant. Like, yeah, it kind of sucks to read out of context, I agree. But, like, when you actually, like, put it all together, there's a lot of insinuations that are being made that are just, like, so fucking disproportionate.
I mean, I can't even imagine thinking that someone is my friend and they're out there in DMs getting their manager to gatekeep an artist from me because they think I'm a threat to them. But of course, Cottontail was far from being the only one affected here. 5 minutes after Nano released her document, Bao quote tweeted and said, I was very hurt by someone I thought was a friend.
I mean, that's probably... I wouldn't doubt that these VTubers who read these out of context probably feel like, yeah, that's shitty. Like, I thought you were a friend, but the fact that you were trying to take away my emo artists when we already did work with them, that's very shitty. You know, if they stopped being friends with them behind the scenes, I wouldn't be opposed to that. You know what I mean? Like, that's completely valid. If it was just kept at that, I would understand that. But, like, we have to make a whole song and dance about this publicly, saying it's manipulative, it's gaslighting, they're liars, they're this, they're that. And we're just, like, the internet constantly overloads the conversation so fucking much. And it's just it's very online. It gets very online very quickly.
With her own Google document. Now look, many friends of Sinder were involved in this, but Bao was more involved than most because this didn't just concern Nano, it also concerned editors, as well as animators. So here's what Bao had to say in her document, saying, hello, this is Bao. I will only speak to what Nanolist has decided to share with the public and the messages that directly mention me by name. I would like to kindly ask everyone to refrain from turning this into a witch hunt and remember that we are still humans at the end of the day. Before I start, I want to point out why I'm addressing both Sinder and Redacted despite the messages being largely from Redacted. Many times throughout the messages, the words we, we're, our occur numerous times. As someone who was close to and worked with Sinder for years, I have firsthand experience in how Sinder and Red collaborate and the extent to which Red operates as her primary point of contact in her professional and personal projects. It is that experience that leads me to believe that all requests and messages sent by Red were both known about and approved of by Sinder. In March 2024, I announced that one of my subathon goals was a Live 2D model. This right here is the tweet of her announcement. If she reaches 10,000 subs, she's going to commission a new sexy mommy Live 2D model.
Okay, sure. That's cute, I guess. Sure.
That's what she's referring to. She then continues, Nanolist was going to be the Live 2D illustrator. After she finished both the design and base model sketch, there was suddenly back and forth on whether or not she had the physical and mental capacity to continue my model. I was very sad, as I had not only teased the screenshot of the model sketch on Twitter, but I had grown very attached to the design and showed it to all my friends in a private group chat that Sinder was a part of. I shared how devastated I was, and she did not comment or say anything despite others in the group chat comforting and reassuring me. I now realize that the reason for her silence was because Sinder and Redacted were deliberately sabotaging ongoing commissions and blocking VTubers such as myself from having access to art from Nanolist. She then shows us the same screenshots.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, it definitely is a massive boundary issue. I have nothing to believe that it was malicious with intention, but it's definitely a massive boundary issue to even, like, suggest that to an emote artist or a VTuber modeler. Again, it's inappropriate for sure. But like I said, this just did not need to make it to the internet. This did not need to be like a whole fucking performance piece. This is fucking insane.
that were in Nano's document, in which we now know that Bao, Cotton, as well as other VTubers were directly targeted by both Redacted and Sinder. Bao then continues in her document and says, Nanolist asks Redacted on why he is encouraging her to not finish my model. Redacted then lists my name amongst various VTubers, as well as the vendettas Sinder and Redacted harbor against each. She then lists all these reasons that they were targeting Bao. The first one being, Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. The second, she hijacked our YouTube editor. The third, constantly picking up artists that we work with. The fourth, now she's barking up the tree of one of our live 2D animators. And the fifth, has a way of guilt-tripping others to get her way. This is what Redacted lists as reasons why Nanolist should cancel her ongoing live 2D commission with me, all the while continuing to collaborate with me and pretending to be my friend. This is not what friends do. Friends do not sabotage other friends out of business opportunities. Friends do not spread lies to fuel selfish narratives. Friends do not use the private information they get from the privilege of being close friends just to use it to manipulate.
They definitely didn't spread lies. I can tell you that much. And we saw that with that Lily person. Like, Redacted was not spreading lies at all. He was just venting how he felt that Lily was treating them. It could have just been like based on personal feeling. Whether it was actually true doesn't necessarily mean they were maliciously lying like you guys are insinuating here. Okay.
Others. If stepping on your friends and abusing your power and connections is how you get to the top, then I hope you realize no one will be left when you get there.
There was no abuse of power in this situation. Holy fuck. I'm gonna crash out. I'm actually gonna crash out. This is insane. There is no abuse of power here. Full stop. There just isn't. There's no, if you don't engage in this contract with me, I will leak this of you, or if you don't do this with me, I'll do this to you, or whatever. Like, there's none of that. It was an option. It was just an idea that they were talking about. That's it. And Nanolist set proper boundaries. They weren't pressured to say no, to not say no, or to say yes to them, or anything like that. There's no abuse of power here. What the fuck are you talking about? Holy fuck, dude.
She then links another screenshot we saw in Nano's document of Redacted asking, did you cancel the models? And then says, more screenshots of them urging Nanolist to cancel the ongoing live 2D commission with me, even mentioning how excited I was about it when I showed them the design during Sinder and I's concert at BeatCon in 2024. That is so scummy. Again, this is a screenshot that we saw in Nano's document. So then Bao mentions something that happened in this conversation between Nano and Redacted, in which Redacted was urging her to cancel the model with Bao, and Nano saying, I can give her the design for free as an apology.
This was even, by the way, this screenshot was even before the exclusivity document, by the way. Like, they imply the, okay, so if you talk here, right, they were talking about the collaboration and pretending this is not what friends do. They don't sabotage business opportunities. This is very clearly referencing the January 2025 screenshot. This is from August 2024. And if you read the actual context, don't sell yourself short. I think she'd be fine with taking the design and finding someone. I mean, like, yeah, again, it's definitely, like, it's not great, but it's, like, I don't know. Like, they still are interested in, like, exclusivity, very clearly. They have shown interest. It's, like, there's no ambiguity of it. They are clearly wanting exclusivity for sure. But, like, you can still set proper boundaries. Like, it doesn't fucking, like, this is whatever.
In 2024. That is so scummy. Again, this is a screenshot that we saw.
This is not, I don't care. I actually don't care about any of this, to be absolutely honest
on Nano's
with you.
document. So then Bao mentions something that happened in this conversation between Nano and Redacted, in which Redacted was urging her to cancel the model with Bao, and Nano saying, I can give her the design for free as an apology gift. Redacted then said, I wouldn't...
What? They were never even insinuating. Okay, whatever.
Offered for free, maybe half.
It's not even worth giving energy to at this point.
Price if she starts shit, lol. And Bao quotes that sentence of Redacted and says, I don't know what I have ever done to either Redacted or Sinder to deserve this level of vitriol towards me. I don't remember having any issue or any problem that couldn't have been solved by talking. So yeah, this is really, really screwed up, obviously. I mean,
this is like, I just don't think it's that deep, to be honest with you. Like, they very are clearly trying to persuade Nanolist to be exclusive, but there's no, like, it's not really, this is not insidious. This really, I don't think it's that deep.
Anyone can tell, right? It's like Bao murdered one of their family members and got away with it. Like, what did she do, man?
That is, dude, the insinuations are actually gonna make me crash out so much. This fucking video creator is just overloading the conversation. This is fucking so dumb. I'm actually gonna start using slurs. I'm not even kidding. I'm actually gonna start using fucking slurs in a minute.
Anyone who's ever worked with her has said nothing but...
I'm kidding. Don't say slurs, by the way. Slurs are bad. Hot take. Slurs are terrible. Don't say slurs, please.
Good things about her. Out of all her friends, she decided to target the person who is probably the nicest out of all of them. Anyway, Bao continues, saying...
Fucking, I don't think it's that deep.
Regarding the message...
They just want to be exclusive. That's it. That's it. They just want to be exclusive. They want their art to be unique. That's all this fucking is. That's all it is.
Sinder and Redacted openly accused me of stealing their YouTube editor, Boss Rush music video animator, as well as any artist they have worked with. She attaches an image that shows an email between her and Kaiser, their YouTube editor, in which...
What the fuck? Accuse me... Wait. I'm confused. Hold on. Can you say that one more time? I'm so confused.
Rush music video animator, as well as any artist news, saying, regarding the messages where Sinder and Redacted openly accused me of stealing their YouTube editor, Boss Rush music video animator, as well as any artist they have worked with...
Openly accused me of stealing their editor, Boss Rush music... Was that even what they... I don't even think that was the original allegation. Was it? Hold on. I'm so confused. Hold on. Let's go back. Bal's been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTube editor a while ago. She constantly was picking up artists that we were working with. We had gotten to know being friends with her, but she really rubs us the wrong way the way she does. She was trying to safeguard most of the editors, yada, yada, yada. Also, one of Bao's music editors that did the... We're 99% sure we told him not to do any more with us. There is something very off about the way that Bao is communicating this. There is something very off about this. This is not adding up at all. If you read what Redacted is actually saying here, Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked... Okay, so this right here is just striking us as just, like, venting about how they feel. Again, we could have a conversation about how what Redacted is doing here is a little bit inappropriate if you want to communicate professionally with, like, a VTuber modeler. We can definitely have a conversation about that, and I'm open to those arguments. It's definitely inappropriate. But, like, if you look here... Hold on. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? I'm actually, dude, I'm just like, I'm so brain rotted from like all of this. They openly accused me of stealing their editor, Boss Rush music video editor, right? Let's go back. Bao's music editors is the one that did the, we're 99% sure she told him not to do any more with us. That wasn't even the original accusation. The VTuber's entire image, hold on. That's the VTuber's entire... Yeah, that wasn't even the original accusation. What the fuck? Wait, you just outright fucking lied about what they originally accused you of, Bao. They didn't accuse you of originally doing it. Again, we can have a conversation about whether or not it is or it isn't appropriate to do, but, like, this is just blatantly fucking dishonest. You're just lying in your document. What the fuck? Holy shit, this is insane. How did nobody catch this?
Nice to meet you. I was just watching your stream highlight from me and Sinder's collab, and I really loved your editing style and humor. I was curious if I could request a video edit from you every now and then if you have any availability. My username is Bao on Discord if you want to chit-chat more there. Thanks again. And Kaiser says, hi Bao, I'd love to edit a video for you. I just sent a friend request on Discord.
And you still got the editor anyway. And also, if you look at the timeline of events, like... Oh, okay, I guess it... Okay, I mean, the timeline isn't off in this area. Okay, whatever, fine.
Your editing style. And Kaiser says, hi, Kaiser is a mutual YouTube channel editor for myself and Sinder. My channel manager, June, and I asked Kaiser for one stream highlight per month as we are aware of his extensive position as Sinder's channel manager. I made a point to note this in my inquiry email to him in 2023. She then shows a screenshot of a call that lasted 5 hours and says, on March 20th, I started a group Discord call that lasted 5 hours to hang out with my editors. In this group call, Kaiser shared with us that he was afraid to ask Sinder for a raise because he initially turned down an exclusivity deal. As a friend to both Sinder and Kaiser, I encouraged him to take the deal and reassured him that it would not change our friendship as I would never want someone I care about to miss an opportunity, even if it meant I would lose him as an editor. The other editors who were in the call can corroborate this. I'm sharing this context because there are no words to describe the hurt and betrayal I feel now, knowing that on the other...
Wait. I encouraged him to take a deal to Wait, what? What? I lasted 5 hours with my editors. In this group, Kaiser shared with us that he was afraid to ask Cinder for a raise because he initially turned down an exclusivity deal. Okay. Do we know when this exclusivity deal was? Like, obviously, it seems like Cinder wants exclusivity, but based on the framing of how this entire situation was, I am not convinced that, like, I am just not convinced that this was, like, malicious or anything like that. I need to see, like, explicit proof that Cinder was, like, actually cooperating with Redacted specifically to try to actually siphon it as, like, malicious intention. I'm not really seeing anything that's, like, actively trying to do it because of that. They just seem like they want to do it exclusively to stand out on Twitch or for whatever reason, right? And obviously it's not like these people are like pressure. It's not like Cinder or Redacted are pressuring these people to say no. It's not like they're actively putting them in positions where, hey, if you don't do this, if you don't do this exclusivity deal, I'll do this to you or whatever, or I'll do this to someone else. They're not, like, threatening them or anything like that. That would be malicious. Again, if that was the case and there was explicit proof of that, then I would be having a much different attitude about this. That is 100% very shitty. But so far, there's none of that here. It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Other side of this conversation, Cinder and Redacted were actively portraying me as a thief at a detriment to their business. I've only ever supported them and their activities.
That was not even the original act. I just don't even believe you. Like, you provably lied earlier. Like, that you said that the original accusation was that they stole, but we looked at Redacted's original messages. Nowhere in there did he even imply that you were stealing at all.
and never once thought that I had somehow gotten on their nerves. She then quotes what Redacted said in the DMs with Nano, a sentence that said,
and he kind of did imply that with the Cerberus emotes, like earlier with that other emo art. So maybe there is like some level of credibility to it. Maybe it's in another screenshot I didn't see. But like, even then, it just seemed like inappropriately venting to a VTuber modeler, right? That's really all this was. And again, we can have a conversation about whether or not it is or it isn't appropriate to do that with a artist to begin with, or a VTuber modeler. That's definitely, like, again, that is a massive boundary issue on Sinder and Redacted's part. It could even be, you could even criticize it for being a little bit unprofessional, but it's not like, the insinuation here is fucking insane, dude.
I had original songs last year that had music videos by her editor, and the songs flopped. Bao then says, I'm in shock and disbelief that this is the narrative they decided I deserved, saying that
Okay, Bao had original songs last year and Envy's editor, and the songs flopped. Her editor met us at TwitchCon and was saying that he'd love to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something planned. Managed to squeeze a Boss Rush music video between work with Bao. Says he loved working on it and is super excited to work on the next MV project. Boss Rush's songs blows up. He's credited as I asked him to do the next project. All of a sudden, he changed his mind. Works with Bao going forward. No again, like this just seems like venting. There's nothing malicious here at all. What am I supposed to do with this screenshot? Say, oh my god, wow, you tried to fucking maliciously siphon. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? You also fucking provably lied earlier in this document, so like I just don't even know it. Like, what am I supposed
jealousy
to do?
Because my songs flopped made me feel sick to my stomach. In late 2024, I was dealing with debilitating TMJ pain that resulted in me having to drain fluid from my jaw joint to open my mouth properly. They both knew this. I have always wanted my friends to succeed alongside me, and I don't know how they could say these things while simultaneously weaponizing my most vulnerable moments against me. I mean, at this point, no comment, right?
Care. Like, that's not even true. That's not what they did at all. I just don't even feel like going back through the video to get it again. This whole thing is so terminally online. This is insane.
No comment. This is disgusting. For you.
I almost think that maybe it's Bao that's being the malicious one here. Maybe what Redacted is saying is true. I don't fucking know. Maybe what he's saying is true, that you guys are trying to fucking do this out of nowhere. And the moment you got wind of this, now you, like, took an opportunity to weaponize and capitalize off of it. Again, I don't know if that's true necessarily from Bao's intentions necessarily, but, like, this is insane. What's being insinuated here is fucking nuts.
Backstab her as hard as they could. She had no idea. She thought they were friends. So this was her clearing up the whole idea that she stole their editor. She did nothing of the sort. But then there was the topic of her animator. So here she quotes the sentence that Redacted had told Nanolist, which is, we're 99% sure she told him, Sacramore, her animator, not to do any more with us, referring to the Boss Rush music videos. And these screenshots...
Yeah, again, this was the original accusation, which you conveniently tried to frame as something else earlier in this document, that he was accusing you of stealing the editor. Which does not seem to be the insinuation here.
It's where Nano's initial document. Bao says, in these messages, Sinder and Redacted are referring to my animator, Sacramore, whom I have been working with since 2023. She proves this by showing DMs between them in 2023. Bao saying, hi, I'm going to bed, but give me a rates and turnaround time for a video like the Bao Experience one. Me and my editors loved it, and Sac said, yo, all good. And she continues. In 2024, Sac asked me if he could go completely exclusive for me and work for me in-house with no credit in order for him to be able to quietly work on his personal projects and brands without having VTubers asking for more commission. I was happy to accept. I want to reiterate, this was Sac's decision and no one else's. Then she says, here is proof of Sac mentioning his wishes to be my in-house animator directly to my channel manager June back in December 2024, refuting Redacted's claims that I locked him up due to Boss Rush's success. These DMs between Sac and June, her channel editor, have Sac asking, yo, is it fine if going forward I don't be credited in video descriptions? To which June says, okay. Sac then says, thank you. I'd rather just be more an in-house type of thing for Bao after this blank thing is done. It's the last commission I ever do for anyone besides Bao, and want to make a name for
none of this matters. I don't care.
Myself through my own content and not really my work for others next year. So again, Bao showed up with a proof, and she's showing us how delusional Redacted and Sinder were. Bao that
I mean, okay. Yeah, maybe that's just how they felt. I don't know. Like, it's really, like, what am I supposed... Okay, yeah. Sure, fine. Maybe what they were feeling was not necessarily true, but it's very easy to get caught up in the idea that maybe, like, things are petty, things are malicious on Twitch or whatever. It's a fucking cutthroat, competitive streaming world, no matter how friendly some people tend to be there. So, like, I mean, trust me, that's coming from someone who used to be part of that fucking, those spaces.
ends this by asking, why aren't you solving this privately? And then replies, if you look at the timeline of events from Nano's document, some of those messages date back years. I found out about this less than 48 hours ago, and they did not give me common courtesy of talking to me privately about this over those years. My thoughts, feelings, my most vulnerable, darkest moments that I shared in confidence with people I thought would be by my side years and years from now may have been used as information to ruin my chances to have the same VTuber model as someone I thought was my friend, and I don't know how I can ever be the same after this. I would like
I really don't think it's that deep, to be honest.
To ask the community to refrain from spreading.
We don't even know any of their most vulnerable thoughts, feelings, or darkest moments. Like, there's not been a single mention of that once. and we're like 42 minutes into this, and you provably lied earlier. So like, I don't even like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Speculation. Everything shared in this document was done so with the express permission of those who shared it with me. I made this document with the intent to refute the claims made about me in the screenshots. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Yeah, what a roller coaster, right? And I just feel very bad for everyone involved in this, of course, except
this
Sinder
thing
and
was
Redacted,
kind of a doozy, if anything.
Because this is a horror story. Imagine opening up to someone, thinking they're your friend, always thinking about what's best for them and not coming in their way.
Did I use that word correctly? Am I fucking stupid? Do I not know what that word means? Hold on. Doozy. Something outstanding and unique of its kind. Yeah, I mean, I guess I used that correctly. Sure. Okay. Fine. Whatever.
Hey, and then it turns out that not just recently, for years, ever since you knew them, they've only had negative things to say about you privately. That is wild. And that, of course, will traumatize a person. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely shitty. I wouldn't be, I mean, if I were Bao, I wouldn't be friends with them anymore, but, like, they misrepresented something earlier in the fucking document, so I just, okay, whatever.
The VTuber Sane compiled all the different collabs and things that both Bao and Sinder worked on to really show how much of a terrible person she was talking like this behind her back.
Shut the fuck up. this is, like, so nothing. This
the song
is
used in the
not
video
the
is a
case.
song from Sinder, I'm pretty sure, so I'm gonna mute that just in case she wants to copyright me. Here you go, look at this. They collabed so many different times and met up IRL so many times too. Like, look at this tweet from Bao. Love you, Sinder. The fact that this is your first shot at anything musically is incredible, and I can't wait to see where you go from here. That's my girl. Like, this is insane. The people who were mentioned in—
The fuck? Hello, I am Bao's channel manager, and yes, I was on a call with Kaiser, Sack, and encouraged to take the raise. It was definitely something that she'd always be invested in. Bao supported any opportunity that Kaiser would choose to go. Okay. Whatever, I guess.
Bao's document made sure to confirm publicly that what she was saying was true. Her channel manager June quote tweeted the document Bao posted and said, "Hello, I'm Bao's channel manager, and yes, I was there in the call with Kaiser, Bao, and Sack, and Bao encouraged Kaiser to take the raise. It was definitely something she thought would be best for me. Bao supported any opportunity or anything that Kaiser would choose to go." Sack, who is her animator, also quote tweeted the document Bao posted and said, "Feel free to read if you want. Go show love and support to both Nano and Bao, though," and linked a Google document that recounted his experiences in this entire situation. So Sack starts this document off with, "This is going to be very unorganized, but
I'm actually falling asleep right now. It's fucking crazy.
Try and keep this brief since I don't really think that they, Red specifically, deserve any more of my attention after hearing what they have said about me."
This
and
is
also
so
how wicked everyone
terminally
was. So it specifies
online.
again that
This
he wanted to go
is
anonymous and
insane.
in-house, not because Bao forced him to, but because he wanted to. Wanted to focus on his own channel while not worrying about having to be commissioned by other people. Then he addresses what Redacted told Nanolist about him, where he says, "Her editor met us at TwitchCon and was saying that he'd love to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something planned." Sack says, "When me and Sinder initially discussed working on a music video project at TwitchCon, everything was fine and friendly. However, the point that is stated as practically jumped through hoops is, well, a bit of an overstatement to say the least, since they had asked me a significant amount of times trying to get me to work with them after I told them no multiple times, and I only said yes because they offered."
That's not that much of an inconsistency. If they had to ask multiple times, and yeah, that is technically jumping through like hoops. Maybe it was just a slight exaggeration or misspeak on Redacted's part. Okay, whatever.
Double pay. So in this DM, you can see in September, Redacted reaching out to Sack asking, "You would happen to be available for a music video in a week or two, would you?" And Sack saying, "No, I'm completely full every day this month, and earliest I could do is November 9th. Sack really tried to make it work, but couldn't find any slots in his schedule. Redacted
I
would
don't care about any of this.
continue asking questions. How long does it take you to make a music video? What do you need? And even with Sack saying multiple times, "I really can't, I'd love to, but I just can't," he says things like, "Okay, thanks though, Sack. You're missing out on a good one." Like, bro, he stated he wants to, but just can't. Redacted then keeps messaging Sack, talking to him about project specifics, asking him how long things would take him, and seeing
I'm gonna light my fucking face on fire. This is miserable. I'm actually gonna tomb time speed this. This is miserable. This is actually miserable. I'm actually, like, dying here.
he's free. And then on the 12th of November 2024, Redacted messages Sack
I'm a
saying, "Are you available?
fucking
Sorry for
dying
the late." Sack
horse
says, "All
here.
good. I'm still 100% down to do it. I'll be able to start like the first or second week of December for like mid-December release. Is that okay?" And Redacted says, "We were hoping end of November release," to which Sack says, "Oh yeah, that'll be impossible."
This is
for me." Sack
so
specifies,
fucking
"Like I said, I'm still
boring.
super down to do it and really hope to be able to work with Cinder on the video, but my schedule is always super packed / fully planned weeks and months ahead without much wiggle room. So just let me know what y'all would like to do or feeling." And then Redacted says, "What if we pay you double?" Sack then says, "Blank and I'll cook," to which Redacted says, "You can send the invoice to blank whenever, we'll get paid ASAP." Sack then continues in the document saying, "Also, I'm not sure what they're on about with Bao not knowing about me working with them, since I asked Bao with Cinder and Red standing right next to me at TwitchCon if it was fine, since I had agreed to do all the Halloween album, but would probably miss one of the songs, and she had no problems with it at all. So even though this would sacrifice the music video for one of Bao's songs in her album, she still said, yes, please go ahead. I mean, Cinder is her friend, as far as she knew, right?" Then Sack goes on to detail his work experience with Cinder and Redacted, saying, "Also, the stream was pushed back for the reason that the video wasn't done yet. Song was going up at 2 p.m. if I remember. However, this part really got under my skin due to the fact that it was just straight up not true, and if something goes wrong in the video production line, no matter who's at fault, the blame will always fall to the editor / animator pretty much every time. I'm still not sure why stream was pushed back. So it felt as if I was getting passive-aggressively blamed publicly on stream in front of thousands for the lateness. Really upset me since the video was not late, even under a very tight deadline, where I did not even receive all the artwork until the 18th, the first full master until the 19th, and was then asked to also make a teaser version as well."
I don't care about any of this. This is so fucking dumb.
An ad for the end of the video with our merch on the 21st, which I was not informed of at all part of the time. Also had skipped going home for Thanksgiving after having a family member pass to get this video done, and which the hell, the entire video was done from scratch and built over 2 weeks since there were quite a few both visual and audio assets I didn't have at the time, even remotely resembled what the final product would sound like. So I felt like this was an attack on my work ethic, which is something I take quite a lot of pride in. I did not receive the merch assets until the 27th, even the revisions, and all the extra trailers, the videos completed and delivered on time, enough time for me to the process before the version. There's probably more that I should clarify since I'm aware this is unbelievably poorly organized, but I'm very tired and don't feel like giving any more energy to these people. If there's anybody who has questions for me, just say the DM. So this clears up more things that happened behind the scenes between Sack and Cinder as well as Redacted, shows us that Bao was nothing more than an amazing friend, and also, even though Cinder and Redacted fought so hard to get Sack over, paying him double his rate, they were terrible clients, weren't prepared, didn't know what they wanted, and still managed to make Sack look bad for their audience, even though he missed Thanksgiving just to get the video done on time.
Holy fuck, hurry up, dude. This is is so boring. Holy
Oh,
fuck,
terrible
dude.
situation. With
Oh
all
my
these documents
god.
releasing, pressure was mounting very hard on Sinder, with
Holy
people
fuck.
demanding answers. So many looked up to her and loved her content purely because of how warm and gentle and kind of a person she portrayed herself on streams. But now people were realizing this was nothing more than an illusion. Hours later, Sinder finally tweeted something, saying effective immediately. Redacted will no longer be managing or overseeing my VTuber activities. He no longer represents me as a creator, my brand, or my intentions. I'm sorry, everyone. I will make a larger response when I'm able. So I'm...
Okay, so what does this mean, right? If we look at the timeline of everything... Wait, why is there like a jump in the timeline, right? We look at these messages, right? It's November 2024. Why is there like a sudden jump in the timeline? Did Sinder like just learn about this? Hold up. Okay, I'll speed this back down. Why is there like a sudden jump in the timeline?
Documents releasing, pressure was mounting very hard on Sinder, with people demanding answers. So many looked up to her and loved her content purely...
So wait, hold on. Wait. One more time.
Redacted shows us that Bao was nothing more than an amazing friend, and also, even though Sinder and Redacted fought so hard to get Sack over, paying him double his rate, they were terrible clients who weren't prepared, didn't know what they wanted, and still managed to make Sack look bad in front of their audience, even though he missed Thanksgiving just to get the video done. With people
definitely not what it was.
Time. It's overall a terrible situation. With all these documents releasing, pressure was mounting very hard on Sinder, with people demanding answers. So many looked up to her and loved her content purely because of how warm and gentle and kind of a person she portrayed herself on streams. But now people were realizing this was nothing more than an illusion. Hours later, Sinder...
I don't care. It just seems like Sinder just has massive boundary issues, and Redacted speaking on her behalf.
Finally tweeted something, saying effective immediately. Redacted will no longer be managing or overseeing my VTuber activities. He no longer represents me as a creator, my brand, or my intentions. I'm sorry, everyone. I will make a larger response when I'm able. So...
Okay, do we get a larger response?
I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised when I tell you that this response left a lot to be desired. But then another VTuber pointed out something very interesting. Vampeaches replied to that tweet and said, I remember playing Phasmophobia with you and hearing Red chat away next to you before you first debuted like 4 years ago. You told me he was your boyfriend. Then before...
You told me he was your boyfriend. Wait, this is exactly what I was talking about. I was like, weren't these people dating? I heard that these people were dating. Okay, are we about to get into that?
Before we met for TwitchCon, you switched up and said, just so you know, my manager is coming with me on this trip, as if I didn't know who he was.
Okay, so you had a manager and he wound up being your boyfriend. Okay, sure, whatever. Maybe it's... Dude, I don't know. Like I said, what I'm getting from this entire situation is that Sinder just has massive boundary issues. Like, again, that kind of thing, generally speaking, under any normal circumstance in the real world is inappropriate, for sure. Like having a manager and then eventually that manager becomes your boyfriend. Now, I'm sure there are some instances where it could work out. You know, I'm sure there are some instances, but generally speaking, that is an inappropriate situation. So yeah, I would say that's inappropriate. It's probably not great on Cinder's part, but it's like, okay. What else do we have here?
It's even ickier to read this tweet knowing he is your significant other and that you're probably going to try and avoid taking responsibility for hurting people who trusted you as friends by nuking the red side of this duo.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
So as everyone could have guessed, Redacted is her significant other. He's her boyfriend and he lives with her. She was fully aware of what he was doing and approved of it. And yet, right now, she was throwing him under the bus to try and save her career.
Oh, that's definitely not good. Oh, that's actually very... Oh, that's definitely not good. Oh, that's not good. Oh, yeah, that's very shitty, if that's true. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not good on Cinder's part. Like, optically speaking, throwing your boyfriend under the bus just so that's... Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not good if that's true. I mean, I would need to... I don't know. I would need to see a little bit more proof for this, for sure. But, like, definitely making a public statement and throwing him under the bus... yeah, I mean, that's definitely not good. I'll say that. I want to keep reading, though. I want to keep looking through it. But, like, again, the first half of this situation, fucking brain rot. There's a giant nothing burger, to be, like, absolutely real with you. But, like, definitely, like, okay. I am interested in this part. What is this?
When everyone knows this is nothing more than a desperate attempt to save your skin without facing any responsibility. It was a very lackluster response to an apocalyptic expose on who she is behind the scenes. And speaking of who she was behind the scenes, someone else came out with a document by the name of Rain on a topic that no one could have ever expected.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Content warning cheating. Oh, Jesus fuck. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh my god. Okay, so are we just not gonna address the part that fucking Sinder was like trying to throw Redacted under the bus or something like that? Are we just gonna forget about that entirely? Are they just not gonna elaborate on any of this Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? I actually was, like, gonna tune in for a moment. What the fuck? Okay. Whatever. I guess we're jumping into this cheating drama with Sinder, which I don't care about, to be absolutely honest with you. Listen, cheating is not good. Don't cheat on your partner. Hot take. Don't cheat on your partner. Not a good thing to do. But, again, it's not, like, cancelable. Let people deal with it behind the scenes. So right off the bat, this Rain person that's like coming forward about this, they're very obviously just doing it for clout. That's what this is. Cinder was getting canceled. Cinder was under fire from drama, and yeah, that's what they're doing. They're literally just riding the fucking Cinder cancel wave, and they're just like coming forward with it just because there was clout out of it. Because there is incentive to come forward with allegations on the internet. There is incentive to talk about allegations on the internet because there's clout in it. It's cool to be a victim to a lot of people on the internet. And everything tends to get very, very sensationalized for that reason in the online atmosphere, because there's a lot of incentive to come forward with allegations on the internet, because there's a lot of over-affirming and there's a lot of under-affirming.
She was behind the scenes. Someone else came out with a document by the name of Rain on a topic that no one could have ever expected.
Wow, cheating. Oh no.
Fuck it. My experience.
Again, not good. Don't cheat on your partner, but this did not need to be public. This person is obviously just riding the fucking Cinder cancel wave. Just like before I'm even reading anything. The timing of this is just too convenient.
With Tashi/Cinder, content warning, cheating? Dude, this just keeps getting worse. Let's look at this document.
Shut the fuck up. It's like, I just don't care for any of this fucking loaded language. Who cares?
So this goes back way before Cinder was even a thing. This is about Tashi, her previous persona. Things were getting so spicy.
Oh yeah, when she was doing the Gooner Bait ASMR stuff. Yeah, okay, whatever.
My tongue isn't working anymore. The document starts off with, hello, thank you for taking the time to read this document. The events described in it happened about 4 to 5 years ago before the first Cinder debut. I understand there will be accusations of me clout chasing by revealing them. However,
You're absolutely clout chasing. The timing of it's very convenient. You're doing it when Cinder is getting drama. Cheating is not something that needs to be public. You need to let people handle it behind the scenes. It's just, you're obviously riding the clout wave. Don't fucking make it seem like you're not clout chasing by revealing these.
Wanted to corroborate Nanolys's assertion that she is not who she appears to be on the surface, and confirmed that no matter how much damage control she does, she's just as responsible as Redacted.
Shut the fuck up. I just don't even believe that, but okay, whatever.
First section is titled The Beginning. Cinder and I met while she was still running.
Wait. Cinder and I met... Okay, the person's obviously going to read it. I'm just very... Whatever. It's not even worth analyzing any of this, to be absolutely honest. Like, the worst allegation that this document is coming forward with does not matter in the slightest, so...
her Tashi.mp3 YouTube channel, which is why all the following screenshots will show her as Tashi rather than Cinder, and that will come up later. At the time, she was only starting her account, and I already had my own ASMR RP channel with 8k subscribers, and as a bigger channel than her, she couldn't wait to work with someone as talented as me. This message dates back to May 2020, with Tashi saying, "You'll get there. It's still hard for me to believe that someone so talented likes my voice enough to want to work together." Rain continues and says, "We never ended up actually making any content together, but that didn't stop us from talking pretty much every day at the time, and eventually she found a new way to make me useful." The next section is titled, "Oh dear." Pretty much immediately, she was flirting with me despite, as you can see here, having a boyfriend, and both of us knowing she had a boyfriend, including regularly talking shit about him to me while telling me how great it would be if
I don't care. Let people deal with it behind the scenes. I don't care about any of this.
Or to replace him. What the hell? He continues, "I understand that I'm no angel in this myself, but hey, at least I can be honest about it." Oh my god. Anyway, here are the DMs. It starts off with Rain saying, "Besides, you said it's hard when your boyfriend..."
Bro, I feel like I'm inside a fucking Iron Maiden, a medieval Iron Maiden, and someone is just closing the door repeatedly while my face is first, and my eyes are getting fucking decimated, and I'm in, like, insane pain. You know that part in the Black Ops 6 campaign where Case is, like, storming through, like, the Capitol building or whatever? They're going through, like, the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and the Pantheon arrives, and then, like, Case is just going through the... And then, like, what is it? Like, a random Pantheon soldier attacks Case, and then Case just, like, pops a fucking eye with his thumb because he's very brutal. That's me right now. That's how I feel. I'm in such agony going through all of this.
Is far, far away. "I'm not your boyfriend, am I?" To which Tashi says,
God.
"No, but how nice that would be. Your perfect boyfriend material, heart." Okay. Rain then continues, "Oh ho, so you want to go at it behind his back? How sneaky." And then she says, "Hi honey, I've been talking to this guy about how badly I want him to fuck me since he wanted to buy a flashlight instead of giving me any attention when I'm needy." What?
Wait. Hold on. I'm confused. "Hi honey, I've been talking about this guy, how badly I want to..."
Cinder replies,
Sorry, I'm just, like, trying to read this. I'm very confused about, like, the timeline here, so... whatever.
It says,
whatever.
"Fucking oof, dude. Literally, why would you even need a flashlight when you have a girlfriend?" And then Tashi/Cinder replies with, "He sent me a screenshot a couple weeks ago telling me he was getting one and had the nerve to use it in front of me to show me how great it was. Wow, yeah, must be great."
Okay, yeah, that definitely doesn't feel good. Did you set a boundary with your boyfriend at the time, Cinder? Because Tashi is Cinder, like, just to be clear. We know this. This is just Cinder's old content channel.
Rain then says, yo, what the f? That's like me inviting you to a chat debate room so you can watch me fuck someone else in all the ways I said I want to.
Now, just to be clear, it's not good to cheat on someone. You shouldn't combat someone possibly having a bit of a boundary issue with cheating on them. That's definitely not the right way to handle this. So Cinder is definitely in the wrong here. But at the same time, this does not need to be public. This absolutely did not need to be made public. This person is very clearly riding the Cinder cancel wave. That's literally all this is. You're just riding, because it was socially acceptable to cancel Cinder. I'm gonna fucking... Okay. Whatever.
The f you. To which he replies with, isn't that great? Rain then says, I'm very slowly...
None of this really matters that much. I was trying to understand it, but in my honest to God opinion is that none of this really matters.
Feeling as bad for him about all this, because it did honestly leave a bit of a bad taste in my mouth that all this was happening while you were taken. But then, yeah, that's a bit, Did you tell him that was fucked up and hurtful to you? She then replies with, he asked me if I was okay with it, and after I explained how I felt, he told me it was too late to do anything about it because it shipped, and he kept it. Rain then says, I mean, far be it from me to give you advice. It's your relationship, and the only ones who can decide what is and isn't okay is you two, but that just sounds really sketchy to me.
Exactly! You even acknowledge it yourself, Rain! You acknowledge it yourself, so why are you coming out with this? This just proves to me you're doing this for clout. You absolutely are doing this for fucking clout. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking... Oh,
and why did he ask if you were okay with it after he bought it? Well, on
this whole thing, this entire Cinder drama is... I'm gonna be real with you. Cinder... I don't think Cinder needs to have her entire life ruined. Based on what I'm seeing so far. Just like through all of this. Through the Bao drama, through the Nanolist drama, through this Rain person who's very clearly coming forward with this just because they want clout and they're riding the Cinder cancel wave. It's just, I don't think Cinder should have her entire life ruined based on what I'm seeing so far. To be, like, absolutely, like, real with you. And I already know that Twitter and a bunch of people are going to give disproportionate energy and they're going to, like, endlessly virtue signal over this situation. I already know people are going to give, like, massive disproportionate energy and just, like fucking overload the conversation with it. It's just... Alright.
Say on this is, two wrongs don't make a right. As much as I enjoy the second thing, it's really not right if you still want to be with him. I would either try to reconcile with him and get what you need out of the relationship and step back from me a bit, or maybe consider taking a break. And I know that last part sounds fucked coming from me, but I swear on my life, I'm not being scummy about it. That's really my opinion. She then replies, I've just been really stressed about everything and talking to you makes me feel so much better. I don't want to lose what we have, but I'm such an awful person, I don't deserve it anyway. Rain then says, I don't believe you're an awful person. I believe that you're stressed, you're emotional, and you're looking for something to make it better, which happened to be me when he wasn't helping. Listen, take a break from what we have just for a little bit and see if you can get something out of him first. You can't really have both of us, plus it wouldn't be very fulfilling for me to just be the other guy in this scenario and not get the full relationship experience myself. You can do it, sweetie. I believe you can. Truly. She then says, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'd do without you. To which he says, I'm not saying to stop talking to me completely. I'll still be right here to support you, whichever decision you end up making. And then she says, I love you so much. I don't know how to thank you. Bro, this is so weird. This is
not, it really is not that weird. I really hate the way this fucking video creator is talking about this, just to be absolutely real with you. Like, I appreciate, the only redeeming quality about this fucking weird VTuber that's, like, narrating this entire video is that he's presenting the information, but, like, these weird interjections of his opinion is just so disproportionate, and I fucking hate, like, the rest of it. Like, the energy of this video is that Cinder is a weird fucking psychopath, which literally, this whole title, read the title of this video, How a Legendary VTuber Got Exposed as a Psychopath, the Catastrophic Unmasking of Cinder, when so far, this is literally a big, giant fucking nothing burger. Holy fuck, you don't, at this point, I feel like Cinder would be better off as a psychopath, so you guys actually know what dealing with a psychopath actually entails.
So weird, man. Look, I'm convinced this is some weird, like, roleplay fantasy she has.
Who
She knew
cares?
that Rain felt really weird about this, knowing that she had a boyfriend, so she was making up this
Who
story to make him
cares?
feel less guilty about cheating. That's
Who
just my theory,
cares?
right? But I just find her story so unbelievable
Who
that it just can't be
cares?
true. Rain then continues in the document saying, despite what was
cares?
evidently nothing serious for her and just a means of keeping herself occupied, she felt the need to keep stringing me along with proclamations of real love, which again, I was silly to have believed in the first place, but still. And it's a screenshot of her saying, regardless, I'm always going to love you.
Okay, who cares? Like, again, it's not good that Cinder is, like, probably actively engaging in cheating here. And, like, again, Cinder needs to work on her boundaries. That's it. Cinder needs to be more considerate of other people, and she needs to work on her boundaries. That's it. That's all Cinder needs to do. Cinder does need to work on herself. That's really it. That's all she needs to do. This is not, like, a condemnation of Cinder's entire character. That's all she needs to do. That's all she needs to do here. Oh my god.
For obvious reasons.
Holy fuck, why are we overloading the conversation so much with all this...
I won't share any of the explicit.
My brain is fucking getting rotted from all of this. We're
because
only
of the
an hour
nature
in.
of it, but also I just don't think it
We're,
helps.
we're an hour into this video, and none of this is worth talking about at all.
That all this went on for several months and included more than just text, as both the date and the content of the following screenshots prove. This was in September of 2020, so months since the last DMs we saw, and it features Rain saying, I mean, it looked like something was going down there either way, and then Tashi replies with, it's called fingering, dear. Oh my god. The document then continues. One reason I felt it important to
Oh, are they sexting? Okay, who cares?
share these details in
They're sexting, yeah, or whatever. I don't care about any of this.
particular is because I never found out if Red got told about what happened, especially not in full lucidity. The primary reason I've held on to all this for so long was an itching feeling that Redacted never fully knew, and it always felt like it would be unnecessary drama, so I left it alone. But now
No, you're coming. Wait, what? What?
the reason I've held on to all this for so long was an itching feeling that Redacted never fully knew, and it always felt like it would be unnecessary drama, so I left it alone. But
It is unnecessary drama. You literally just answered your own question. This is unnecessary drama. But it's very convenient this is coming out the moment Sinder is getting canceled and the moment that there's clout coming your way as a result of it. Yeah, very convenient timing.
now seems as good a time
Makes you wonder.
as any. Redacted, if you're reading this, I'm sorry for all that happened back then. I really am, but given the actions you two have taken together regarding other VTubers, I still think you're perfect for each other regardless. The last section of this document
Fuck
is the
up,
end. After
dude.
Cinder got
Holy fuck. That just proves to me that you're not traumatized by this. There's no reason, like, even if you were traumatized, we still have to be very careful about coming forward with, like, stories of, like, I'm talking, like, of the more extreme end, like, of, like, sexual assault, grooming, and pedophilia, which is not what any of what Cinder is being accused of here, just to be clear. I'm not insinuating that. That's what these people are accusing her of. I just want to make that absolutely clear. But anyway, when people come forward with these stories, right, of, like, all the, like, more serious side of it, this is, like, a lot more tame in comparison. When people come forward, I think we have to, like, really incentivize people to not come forward with that, because you open yourself up from all sorts of different opinions on the internet, right? You're going to get people that over-affirm, and you're going to get people that under-affirm, and that deny every single claim of sexual assault or any of, like, the worst possible case scenarios, right? That's why when you go to see a therapist, they're very careful not to over-validate or under-validate your trauma. We have to, like, really normalize just not going to the internet. Like, you have the police for a reason, for that sort of thing. With this drama, it just very it clearly shows me that this person is not traumatized by this Cinder situation at all. And you literally made a backhanded comment about how they both deserve each other, which tells me that this expose is very malicious, to be absolutely honest with you. That's what this tells me.
got done using me for fleeting sexual gratification, our conversation slowed down.
The insinuation is just, okay. Okay, whatever.
Exacerbated by the Cinder character coming into fruition and finding immediate success. I had stopped making content for a decent length of time by then, and thus, she no longer felt she could ladder climb from me. Here we can see this was a conversation mid-2021, with Tashi saying, hey, what was your exam for? I haven't been on this Discord account super often, so I missed a bit, and Rain said she made a new group chat without me. I kid, but yeah, they were the entrance exams for the uni college. Tashi said, nice, congrats on passing them. I've just been on the VTuber side of things working with commissions and whatnot. And then Rain said, what? And Cinder doesn't want to be my friend? Only Tashi does? To which she replied with, it's just easier not having multiple ongoing conversations. Rain continues in the document.
Okay, whatever. Why should I care about this?
Saying, until eventually she stopped using that account altogether and committed fully to Cinder, and I never heard from her again, something I was uncannily aware would happen even back then. These are DMs from around the same time in 2021, with Rain saying, I'll message you at this time in 2022 and you won't even remember who I am, to which Tashi said, I'd never forget you. Rain then continues the document and says, and that's pretty much it. This isn't meant to be a witch hunt. We all make mistakes, including me.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You absolutely knew what you were getting into when you posted this. You absolutely knew the ramifications of posting this document. Don't fucking pretend otherwise. Yes, you knew.
I've shown in the same document, but it felt like a good time to get off my chest things that I've been on it for half a decade now and to finally get some closure, even though I know how bad I look along.
No, I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. You made a backhanded comment earlier, and I don't believe you at all. You very clearly knew that there was clout in it for you. You very, very clearly knew that, just like reading through all of this.
Cider. She's an opportunist whenever she can find a way to be, and she does not care what happens to the people she springboards off from. I can only hope.
Shut the fuck. I don't care. Like, Cinder has boundary issues. I agree. And it's not good to cheat. It's not good to, like, some of the stuff she did was not good, but we don't need to overload the conversation. Stop trying to ride the fucking cancel wave and this is pathetic. This is honestly pathetic.
She takes this as an opportunity to change and grow as a person, and I'm just going to throw this one in the end because it's kind of funny for me to see in retrospect. Okay, thanks for reading. And it's a message from Tashi in 2020 saying, don't forget about me when you become a big popular YouTuber. You know what? I didn't read this document until I started recording, and yeah, this caught me by surprise. Wow. I wish Rain had shown this a long time ago so people would have known, okay, this person's kind of weird. And maybe
if you say so. fucking I forget what your name is, Mr. Person that's narrating. Like, what? I just don't even care to remember it.
Oh, and Nana wouldn't have been backstabbed so goddamn hard. But it does leave a bad taste in my mouth in regards to Rain as well. Releasing this information now does seem opportunistic, because it seems like it's cool to hate on Sinder. In other words, he was backstabbing her the same exact way she was backstabbing others right now. But speaking of backstabbing, we were slowly but surely uncovering the other people that Sinder had backstabbed because documents kept coming out.
Oh boy. More brain rot to read. Holy fuck.
Spite, another big independent VTuber, posted this on Twitter, quote tweeting Nanolist saying,
My experience with Sinder. Oh my god. Another one. Oh my god. I have to fucking read another Google Doc and waste another hour of my life. This is crazy.
Experience with Sinder and attaching a Google document of her own.
God.
This is when we uncover one of the two last missing pieces of the puzzle. There are two more VTubers that were backstabbed by Sinder that were censored in Nano's original document. So which one is Spite? Well, let's read the document. It starts off by saying, I want to start by saying, please do not send any hate to anyone involved in this. I only wish to speak about my experiences and give more clarity on those experiences. First and foremost, my love and admiration goes out to Nanolist for having the courage to bring this to light. Artists are the backbone of our community, and taking advantage of her goodwill personality is saddening to see. I want to take...
Oh my god. I don't even feel like addressing this point. I've already addressed it a million times earlier in this video.
The time to address what has been brought to light involving myself and what I've experienced over the years that coincide with these events. In this screenshot, the VTuber that is being talked about is very clearly me. Since the beginning of my VTuber journey, it has been written in my backstory and lore that I'm the daughter of Cerberus, and through an unforeseen summoning mishap, the Greek goddess Hecate. As many may know, Cerberus is a species of hellhound, and I've always incorporated the number 3 in my designs to follow the 3 heads of Cerberus.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think you either took inspiration or it was just a coincidence. This point I didn't really care about. This was just redacted, probably venting. That's what we already established earlier in the document.
Design, and when artists were...
I have to 2 times speed this again. This is so boring. This is actually so fucking miserable.
Learning new model / reading techniques, I had opted for 2 other wolf heads on my shoulders as pauldrons to symbolically represent my 2 other heads. However, the repeated comments of, if you're a Cerberus, where are your other 2 heads, had pushed me to use the broader term hellhound at the time. Fast forward to months to a year into my journey, and I started to receive harassment and berating comments and chat messages on Twitch and YouTube videos comparing me to Sinder and putting me down for being a hellhound. Making the definitive switch to the Cerberus label brought me a sense of relief because the last thing I wanted was to be constantly compared or harassed at this point. I didn't want to be associated with her due to all the negativity that was being thrown my way. Then she links one of the screenshots that were included in Nano's document, in which redacted claims that Spite unfollowed Sinder on Twitter, and this is what she has to say about it. As for the claims of unfollowing her and taking her ideas, I debuted my 2.0 Live 2D model May 14th, 2022, and on that same day she decided to post her debut announcement for her 1.0 Live 2D model. Leading up to this time, I didn't know who Sinder was at all. I had no idea she had fire in her ears or she was another hellhound. The creator space is broad, and I still stumble across creators larger than myself that I had not heard of before. I never once stole her ideas.
Okay, whatever, she unfollowed you. Yeah, like, obviously it doesn't feel good when someone, like a mutual in a Twitch space unfollows you. I get it, I've had that feeling as well. But at the same time, it's not that deep. You don't need to, like, make a big fucking song and dance about it. Suck it up and just, like, get your shit together. Like, whatever, who cares?
All I ever want is to try to...
It's fine, it's like, not, this is nothing.
Neat in my own way, so these claims that I was following her and then unfollowing and stealing her ideas are absolutely baseless and uncalled for. This is a screenshot that shows that Spike was doing her 2.0 debut on May 3rd, 2022, and 11 days later, Sinder was barely revealing her first model. She had not even done her debut yet. Spike continues in the document, saying her posting her debut announcement trailer the same day as my 2.0 debut seemed off, but I shrugged it off as a coincidence because things happen. However, this wasn't the last time something like this had happened. There have been multiple times where I have done something and either the same day or shortly after I was made aware or had discovered later that something similar had been posted, making me feel like I was being watched constantly. I tried my best to believe that it was coincidental and not ill intent on their part. There were many times where I designed a new outfit that I was really excited for, but afterwards Sinder would release outfits or models with similarities to it. I didn't think much of it at first because it is normal to have some similarities or shared inspirations with other creators. The VTuber community is a huge space and similarities are normal. I'm not speaking to whether my designs were taken as direct references for hers. I'm addressing the need for the unprovoked tweets mentioned in the screenshots above and showing that I made the statements to make it clear that I was not stealing ideas. How can I copy something that was released / revealed after my own? On July 20th, 2022, Maui Live, my model Mama, and I worked on a comfy goth girl outfit. I had rips in my shirt, a G-string, shorts, and spiked wrist cuffs. 2 weeks after, Sinder debuted a similar outfit. I included the earliest image that I could find of Sinder with this outfit. I received many negative comments about my design from people assuming that I copied her.
None of this matters. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, you disproved that, like, you didn't, like, steal anything. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Like, I don't care if you did or didn't, or, like, I personally don't care whether you did or didn't. That's the point I'm trying to make. like none of this matters.
When I debuted it 2 weeks before hers, I got called off-brand Sinder and just a bunch of horrible things. So these are DMs with her artist saying, sounds great, I'm so happy with it, on July 20th, 2022, showing that she was working on this outfit way before the tweet that Sinder made on September 14th, 2022, asking, what do you think?
Okay, fine, yeah, you just worked on it before Sinder did, whatever, I don't care.
My new outfit that looks very similar. Spike then continues in her document saying, I discovered this merchandise that she used for Uwa Market and had to do a double take because of the great blue skin tone used in the art. Several people thought it was me, and the similarities for this speak for themselves, I feel. So this is the design itself, and yeah, I mean, they do look pretty damn similar, not gonna lie. She continues, on April 29th, 2024, I designed a Greek goddess outfit on stream. I am a Cerberus VTuber, so it fits my lore completely. I mentioned that I may or may not get a future Greek goddess outfit because it fits my brand. About 4 months ago, Sinder debuted a Heaven Okami inspired outfit. It was white and gold, resembling a Greek goddess. In the background for debut, she also included Greek columns. At this point, I felt like nothing I could come up with would be even slightly original to me. I'm aware that nothing is completely original, but I still wanted my own identity. So here's the outfit that she drew on her stream, and then here is the debut stream with the new outfit that Sinder came up with. She then continues, on April 20th, 2024, I debuted a new model for my model Mama REVT. I got a hoodie with a cute design on top and I had side bangs covering my eyes. On April 4th, 2025, so a year later, Sinder debuted a sports hoodie with side bangs covering her eyes similar to mine. Is this a coincidence, or is it truly her trying to copy everything she's doing?
Who cares?
I don't know, I'll let you decide. She then continues. There are some
I don't care. None of this fucking matters. Nice tits. I could literally see the cleavage above.
I do not have screenshots of. For example, I remember posting about my first ASMR stream. The day that I was supposed to do said stream, Sinder plugged her ASMR channel. I thought it was a bit suspect, but brushed it off. I don't have any screenshots of the comments and bullying that I received from her community. There were too many that it became too much to keep track of and just started ignoring them because I never wanted to save images of their words that hurt me. I didn't even want to read the harassing comments in the first place. I just wanted to be left alone and be happy in my own space. I received a DM on January 25th, 2023. I will not discuss.
You know, if I'm ever having trouble, like, sleeping at night, which I have sleep problems, like, I tend to get insomnia a lot, I'll just watch this video again. This video is really, it works. It works like a fucking, it's like magic. This can cure any sleep problem that I have at night.
Flows with the Sinder was without their consent. The Sinder expressed to me that they were getting bullied by Sinder and certain members of Sinder's community because she too had fire in her ears. I never responded to the DM because I wanted to stay away from drama as much as possible. Here's what the DM said. Hey, you popped in my feed and can I just say I love your design? I had a rather odd question, I suppose. Have you had any messages from the VTuber Sinder regarding your design? It's basically out of nowhere, but I'm only asking because I had made an original character like a while back and I was accused by her and others of stealing her design because my dog girl had flames in the ears and her fans claimed that was exclusive to her design. It was this whole big ordeal on Twitter, so I wondered if anything similar had happened to you yet. I'd like to clarify, I myself am not saying your design looks like hers. I was scrolling, sorry, totally awesome design. When I saw the flames near/in the ears, I had flashbacks and thought to myself, oh no. So I guess this is just my curiosity getting the best of me. Spike continues in her document saying, I'm just very saddened and disappointed in this situation. I had my suspicions about this, but I've never wanted to be a part of drama, so I kept quiet. I've also seen what happens when a creator stands up for themselves and receives major backlash even if they're in the right, so I've never vocalized my concerns. I've always designed my own models. I've gotten inspiration from Cerberus for the chains and spikes.
Okay, I'm actually gonna skip through like the entire Spite drama. None of this matters. The like stealing artists thing or whatever. I'm skipping past this. This like none of this matters. All right, I have to take a quick piss break and just kind of cool off for a bit and drink some water. We're back. We can slow down the video just a little bit. And let's just move on from this Spite person, because this whole Spite drama thing, like, is another nothing burger. This doesn't matter. Oh boy, another person comes forward.
So,
Silver Veil. Okay.
You no doubt remember the screenshot in which Redacted was trying to blacklist Bao, Cotton, and a third VTuber from ever being able to commission Nano again. Well, we now know that this third VTuber is none other than Silver Veil.
Silver Veil. Oh boy. Why did we redact this earlier, by the way? Why was Silver Veil hidden before? Is there like a specific reason for that?
Another very big independent VTuber. Many hours after the initial statement from Nano, she quote-tweeted Nano's tweet and said, "My statement on Sinder and Redacted."
Okay, whatever. Sure.
Linking yet another Google Doc. It starts off with a section titled Introduction. I shouldn't have to say this, but me putting out this statement is not a call for or an excuse for anyone to turn the situation into a witch hunt. My intention for making a statement is strictly to give myself closure from the events of the past years and clarify how I have been personally affected. I debated if I wanted to even say anything after being asked if I wanted my name in the original document censored, as the situation is much bigger than just my personal experience. However, after finding out how wide and extensive the transgressions were, I feel the need to give clarity to my situation and how I was personally affected. I want to note, as others have, that though a majority of the messages are from Redacted, who is Sinder's manager, I find it impossible that he acted solely on his own intentions without Sinder's knowledge or consent, given the extent to which he has represented.
Sure, and you know what? That's true. That's definitely true that Sinder and Redacted definitely knew each other, like, and they definitely had some kind of relationship that happened, and we can have a conversation about whether or not that's unprofessional on Sinder's part. 100%, we can definitely do that. Again, I don't really think there was anything malicious about what Redacted said. I wouldn't doubt that, like, seeing these messages out of context, some of these people were like, wow, that's actually kind of shitty that, like, you know, Sinder was doing this and Sinder was, you know, trying to get rid of all the competition, essentially. You could say it's a little bit ruthless, but, like, sometimes that's just how the business works. I don't know if that's, like, fucked up of my perspective. Maybe I just have a different perspective on all of this. I don't know. But, like, based on the messages I saw from Redacted, there was nothing malicious from what I saw. Like, it definitely seems like a bit of a boundary issue, but it's not like, I don't know, like, it's not like they were pressuring anyone to, like, say no or anything like that. Again, I actually do think from Silver Veil's perspective, from all these perspectives from all these other people, like, if they cut Sinder off privately and they, like, distance themselves from her after this situation, that's completely valid. I would not blame you for doing that. That is completely valid after seeing it. That was the point I was trying to get at earlier when I was talking about, like, the ruthless businesswoman kind of, like, thing. Like, because that is definitely, like, you could definitely, like, feel hurt about it. But based on what I'm seeing, it doesn't seem malicious on Sinder's part or on Redacted's part. And I definitely don't think any of this needed to make it to the internet. That's my biggest problem with all this drama. And that's really it. That's really all there is to it.
Publicly and professionally. The next section is titled Nano and VTuber 1, in which we see many messages that were already included in Nano's document, where Redacted was trying to convince Nano to go exclusive and not work with specific VTubers. As you can see, this is the message where
I think we've already seen this. Maybe? I don't remember this. Oh, wait, yeah, we've already seen
says you don't
this.
work with Bao,
Yeah,
Cotton,
yeah,
or Silver
we saw
at
this
all again,
screenshot.
models or art. And then Nanolis says, is there any way to add a little bit more since
Yeah, we've already read this. I'm just gonna skip this.
the model that Redacted was talking about was Silver's model. The DM
Oh, Silver's model. Yeah.
between Nano and Cinder also revealed to us much more now that Silver's name has been uncensored. Here we can see Nano saying, just wanted to let you know, I still love working with you in Red, but I'll understand if things don't work out because of Silver.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
just love
We've read all this. We read all this.
and abused by Cinder and Red makes me livid. She's an absolute sweetheart and just wants her clients to be happy. It breaks my heart to see how she was treated like a tool and a resource to be used for growth rather than a talented living person and gaslit into somehow believing that how she was being
Okay, that's not I don't know. I was with you in like the first page of the document, but you just lost me by just overloading the conversation unnecessarily. Whether or not it's intentional, I have no idea. Just cut them off. All right, like just cut them off and be like, hey, listen, I don't appreciate how you did this. We're cutting you off entirely. Why do we need to make like a whole fucking performance piece on this?
treated was okay. I am so proud of Nano for having the courage to come forward to the affected people with all of this and to let everyone know how they were being unknowingly sabotaged. I've spoken to her privately.
So true, Queen. She's such a brave survivor for coming forward with this information. So true, Queen.
And want to be clear that I have no ill will or hard feelings towards Nano for her involvement in this. I urge people reading this to try and understand the emotional manipulation on display and empathize with her situation. There is a lot I could say about how disgusting I find their behavior towards other creators in general, but I want to focus on my personal
This is so performative. Holy fuck.
experiences.
This
The next
is
section
so
gets real, and it's
performative.
titled Cinder and I, and this is where she goes into the very weird relationship she had with Cinder and really reveal the depth of the backstabbing. She starts off by saying,
Okay, I guess. I imagine, like, we're an hour and 10 minutes into this. I imagine we're not going to see anything and come out of this, but, I'll entertain it.
discovering that all this was going on behind the scenes has been gut-wrenching. I didn't know Cinder, we weren't friends, and we have barely talked. Even writing this, I do not understand what I could have possibly done to warrant the level of malice and cruelty shown. In our private interactions, I was as cordial as possible, but I just wasn't interested in associating with her professionally or being her friend.
That's fine. Okay, whatever.
From the few uncomfortable interactions I did have with her, I had gotten the vibe that her primary goal was to climb the social and content ladder and grow her brand. I am fully aware how common that attitude is, and that that's just how you grow in the sphere, but I personally don't have the emotional fortitude or bandwidth to have friendships for the express purpose of growth. For the record, I think it's fine to have that view and approach to content creation, but I also reserve the right to simply not vibe with someone. I would much
That's fine. Yeah, you do you. That's totally fine.
rather not associate with someone at all than pretend to be their friend for the purposes of growing my brand. The only time I had actually talked to her directly was during my meet and greet at TwitchCon 2023. I had just finished my meet and greet, and as I was wrapping up, she walked directly to the screen to meet me and had someone else take a picture of us together. I was not informed of this picture or asked permission for it, and only knew about it once I saw it on Twitter later on. And as you can see, this is a tweet from Cinder back in October 20th, 2023 with her saying, stop by to say hi after I meet Wolf Girls, really making it seem like her and Silver were friends and knew each other, when that wasn't the case at all. Silver then continues, saying, after the meet and greet, she contacted my manager at Mythic to ask me to collab with her. I told them I would rather not collab, but accepted her friend request on Discord after turning her down. In private DMs, she reached out and asked me to do merch or another various form of collab to be monetized, to which I again declined. I will always prioritize my mental health and peace over any potential profit that would make me feel used transactionally and put me out of my comfort zone. So these are the DMs with her Mythic manager saying, also, Cinder really loved meeting you and wanted to collab, so I told her I'd let you know, and I could throw you guys in a group chat if you were interested. To which Silverveil said, hello, I appreciate the sentiment, but I prefer to not do collabs. Her manager said, no worries, hope you're having a good weekend. To which she said, oh, thanks, I'm trying to, just busy on lots of IRL stuff coming up, lol. Sorry for not being interested in collabs, I just like to do my own thing, but I'm always open to messages, lol. I hope you had fun at the con and everything went okay. So these are the brief DMs she had with Cinder. Silver starts off the conversation after accepting her friend request saying, hi. Cinder then replies with, hi Silver, sorry for getting back to you late. I've been super sick from TwitchCon. I guess a lot of us got sick after the last couple parties. I hope you had a good time at your meet and greet. It was nice to see you there. But yeah, no worries if you don't prefer to stream together. My manager suggested something more like sponsorships, merch, music, or some kind of other project together that maybe Mythic could help with if needed. I'd love to chat more either way. To which Silver replied with, no worries, it's been super hectic and busy for everyone, lol. I hope you're feeling better. I'm really flattered by the persistence, but I'm just not interested in transactional relationships with anyone. I hope you can understand. So then we go back to Redacted's DMs about Silver and we realize just how unhinged both he and Cinder were, accusing Silver of
Sure. They're so unhinged. So true, Kings, coming forward with this. So true.
copying Cinder with that spinning figure and saying things like, oh, we just want Silver to recognize Cinder because she's a big VTuber, and typing in all caps and the marketing potential and money they could make if they teamed up. Adding, I feel like there's this unspoken competition between them, like they need to one-up each other because Silver can't get along. Bro, she literally said in the DM she's just not interested in transactional relationships, and she was as nice as possible. I've already said this multiple
What?
long. Bro, she literally said in the DM she's just not interested in transactional relationships, and she was
He's saying she just said that. The dates were after the screenshots you're showing us with Redacted. The Redacted screenshots were shown in July, and the fucking screenshots where she sets the boundary was after Redacted said this. This was 3 months after. What are you talking about? How are they supposed to know this? What are you fucking talking about? Oh my god. Holy fuck. I actually think... I don't have enough to prove this, but I almost wonder if this entire thing that happened to Cinder was a malicious fucking hit piece. Because that kind of seems like... It kind of seems to be the case. Like, this seems like this was one giant malicious fucking hit piece as, like, a business decision against Cinder. And, like, yes, Sinder has many boundary issues. I agree. Sinder has a lot of boundary issues, and I've seen that throughout this entire thing. That's really it, though. There's no manipulation. There's no gaslighting. This is fucking insane, dude. This is fucking crazy. You guys are so fucking...
as nice as possible. I've already said this multiple times in this video, but man, this is so weird. Silver then continues in her document.
People on like the Twitch space have no problem being cutthroat as long as there's clout to gain from it, huh?
Saying I had a new Live 2D models in the works for my birthday with Nano, which was eventually canceled. I was devastated as Nano was the one who originally asked if she could do this model because she was excited to make it with all the new things she had learned, and my birthday was special. At the time, the reason given was health and stress reasons, which made sense given how much was on Nano's plate, and despite my disappointment, expressed my support for her prioritizing her health.
I'm sorry if I'm not saying a lot, by the way, guys. Like, I'm just so mentally checked out of this whole situation. We're like an hour and 13 minutes into this. I'm just like so mentally checked out of like all of it.
I am now aware that the actual reason for her declining to work with me on my birthday.
Bro, I swear to God, like, what else is there? A psychopath's apology. Okay, yeah, if you say so. Video creator, what is it, Mugen? Is that your name? Whatever. Catastrophic after, whatever. It's whatever. Okay.
The model was external pressure from Redacted and Sinder. Words cannot describe how heartbroken I was and am. She then attaches a screenshot with her and Nano in DMs, with Nano saying, Silver, I have to...
Wait, didn't you say earlier that you were never friends with Sinder? Why would you be heartbroken about any of this? Okay. Alright, whatever.
Cancel the model commission. I'm sorry, my manager told me I have to cancel the most commissions possible for health reasons. I've been working too hard and it's getting into me. I really apologize for this inconvenience. Silver replies with, I was looking forward to it so much. I love your art so much and I've been so excited for a new model from you. I understand though. You have to prioritize your health and taking care of yourself. I hope your health improves and you feel better. Make sure to get lots of rest and relaxation. Do you know if you'll be able to do it next year at all?
I fucking hate the way these people talk in DMs, by the way. Can I just say, like, I know it like seems harmless on the outside, but it's like knowing how cutthroat the fucking Twitch spaces can get, it just seems so performative and I'm fucking tired of all of it. To be absolutely honest, maybe I'm projecting like my own fucking cancellation onto this, but like, I wouldn't doubt that I'm probably projecting just a little fucking bit here, but still, it's fucking, this is so dumb. This whole situation is so terminally online. It's fucking crazy. Everybody here needs to touch grass. Talk to people in the real fucking world, please.
Oh, don't feel pressured or anything, just ask. Nano replies with, I'm sorry, it hurts me a lot too. I just wish I could work on everything I could, but I believe I can...
I think COVID did, like, irreparable damage to so many people in the online space. People got, like, way too comfortable in the online space, and that's kind of just the wave they rode ever since COVID happened.
We'll go for your model sometime next year. Yeah. Silver then says, that's okay. I know you have a ton on your plate and can't imagine how stressful it must be. Do you think you can still do Gamersub's tub art? And Nano says, oh yeah, illustrations are okay. And of course, they were only okay in the eyes of Redacted and Sinder, who were manipulating the hell out of her. And here Silver attaches...
Not really.
2 images that we already saw in Nano's document, and here we can see Redacted was saying, you didn't tell Silver you canceled because of Sinder, did you? What's even crazier here...
There was no manipulation, just to be absolutely clear. It was definitely a boundary issue, it's a little bit unprofessional, but there's no fucking... there's no manipulation here.
Is that this message was completely uncensored too, in which Redacted...
I also really get the feeling that this content creator that made this video is really just riding the Sinder canceled wave as well on top of it, because he could just, like... Well, I mean, I guess you benefited off of it because you made 2 million fucking views off of it, so I guess good for you. Do what you gotta do. I respect the hustle, I guess.
Said, well, let's see if Geary wants a Nano model or not and hope Silver finds someone else. So this is yet another content creator that was added to this mess that we weren't even aware of. Silver continues, I didn't think much of it at the
Boy, another Sinder victim. Oh no. What will I ever do?
Time, but Sinder messaged me on Discord right before my model was canceled. She celebrated that we shared art despite the fact that at the same time she and Redacted were actively working to take the potential for more away. Here you can see a private message from Sinder to Silver saying, hey Silver, I just got your Gamersub stuff in the mail and it looks amazing. It's so cute that we both have Nano's art on our merch and she's both our model mama. This is unhinged psychopathic behavior, bro. Does this person
How is this psychopathic behavior?
even feel shame? At this point, I don't think so. Silver then ends this document with a section moving
Whatever.
forward. Cinder and Redacted have spent years sabotaging me for no understandable reason. I have never done anything to warrant this other than just existing as Silvervale. They
If you say so.
sought to get my models and art canceled, and based on the messages I have seen and shared above, seem to have not had any second thoughts about doing so. It's hard to express how crushing a feeling it is to be talked about so cruelly and maliciously without my knowing, and to know opportunities and friendships were taken away for what I can only assume is spite and insecurity. There is no end to the amount of anxiety I feel knowing that if these rumors were expressed to Nano, I have to assume they were expressed to others as well. I hope this document and the evidence presented will convince you that I'm not the person that Cinder and Redacted tried to convince people that I am. Thank you for taking the time to read this, and I hope that any and all of the people who have been affected by this can get the closure and peace that they deserve.
Wow, you guys are survivors of such a horrific event. So true, Queen.
Yeah, for the first time in this video, I'm speechless.
Holy.
I'm just glad that Cinder focused on VTubing and not politics, otherwise she would have become the
You
next
guys have been through so much. So proud of all of you.
dictator or something. Make no mistake, this happened because Silvervale had boundaries. This happened because Cinder would not take no for an answer.
No, earlier, I'm not even, dude, I really am trying not to crash out again. Earlier in this video, you literally showed earlier in this video where Redacted said something back in, like, where is it? It was this right here. You showed a message that Redacted sent back in July, and then you showed Silvervale setting the boundaries afterwards, and you expected them to know the boundaries prior, which is fucking insane. Like, yes, I agree they could hold up better boundaries, but, like, still, the fucking overloading of this conversation is insane. Alright. This next chapter is titled A Psychopath's Apology. Oh boy, can't wait to see the sensationalized crap that this becomes.
Sorry about that. People were very patiently waiting for a more complete statement. So after losing over 10,000 followers and waiting more than 24 hours, she finally just published it 6 minutes ago. My apology. Let's see if this can actually save her career. Cinder starts off by saying, there's nothing I can say to—
No, you guys were very hyper-focused on canceling her, and you guys put it all on Twitter, where Twitter is just full of very fucking toxic psychopaths. Those are the real psychopaths, not Cinder. Cinder is not a psychopath, just to be fucking clear. Twitter is full of— they're the real fucking psychopaths, in my opinion. I mean, you got, like, fucking white supremacists there. Elon Musk approves of it all. You've got, like, people that are very bloodthirsty to cancel anyone that they can get their hands on, and when the Cinder drama went public, it was absolutely no different. People were just vampiric to cancel her. Yeah.
Make this better, but I will try my best to properly convey my feelings, frustrations, and mistakes. I'd like to explain my point of view and apologize to each party affected. Redacted has been my co-content creator since I began making content, managing all aspects of what I do and being a major part of why I'm here. We have also been in a relationship since the start of my endeavors. It's no secret that many VTubers choose to keep their public and personal lives separate, and I'm no different. As of yesterday, he is no longer working with me, and I have not extensively discussed any of this with him.
It's definitely weird that you wouldn't discuss it with him, considering he was your partner at one point, allegedly, anyways. Maybe that other person was lying, to be honest with you. Maybe they were lying about Redacted being partners, I don't know, but they said, oh wait, no, you said earlier in the document they're being in a relationship. Duh, fucking, I must have lost that. My bad. Okay, that's my fault. I didn't pay attention to that part. So they are in a relationship. She's admitting it here. Okay, cool. I just don't know why you wouldn't discuss it with him. That is a little bit strange. Why wouldn't you discuss it with him?
Our personal situation goes from here will be figured out between us privately.
So this does lend a little bit of credibility to what that one VTuber pointed out earlier in the replies when you announced that Redacted was no longer working with you. This does lend a little bit of credibility because you were, I don't know, it just seems like something you should discuss, saying like, hey, like, I'm not going to work with you anymore. It is what it is. I have to remove you because, like, you know, can't have that part of my brand or whatever, like all that stuff, whatever. I just don't know why you wouldn't discuss that with him. That is a little bit strange.
Never intended to mention us publicly, but given that the claims are out there, I want everyone to know I'm taking this seriously. After years of working on everything together, his hyper-business-oriented outlook warped my view of what it is I should be doing, and what should be important to me as I navigate this career path. I have a terrible work-life balance as it is, and being around projects and streams all day every day made me lose sight of the point. It took—
Oh, okay.
all of this happening for me to realize this behavior isn't normal or healthy, and it's not an outlook I want to have. This doesn't absolve me of the things I've willingly done wrong and went along with, or the way I've treated people who were fully undeserving. Guys, right off the bat, it's not looking good, okay?
It's definitely a very strange response, I will say. It's definitely a very, very weird response to give. Again, I don't think Cinder had any malicious intentions based on what I saw. I don't think there was anything, like, super malicious about what she did. It's just that, again, this is just very weird. I feel like this is, like, being overloaded by, like, everyone for no reason. And, like, listen, this is a very real thing, right? When I first went through my cancellation, even before then, I kind of, like, felt bad about some of the ways I acted in my past relationship, because that's what I was canceled for, originally. It's all online. You guys can fucking read about it. I already responded to it twice, so I'm not going to go into, like, full details here. But you guys can read about it. It's publicly available. It's not difficult to find, I promise you. But, you know, I got canceled for my past relationship as well. And I'm not proud of the way I acted in a lot of it, admittedly. Like, it's definitely, I'm not proud of it. But a lot of it was very sensationalized. And that's kind of, like, the perspective that I'm coming from. And what tends to happen is when someone comes forward with a story about you, what tends to happen is if tons of people are telling you did a bad thing, eventually you will convince yourself that you did a bad thing. And I feel like that's part of what's happening with Cinder here, is that, like, tons of people are telling her you did this manipulative thing, you did this terrible thing. And I feel like it's being a little bit overloaded more than necessary. Again, I still think Sinder has boundary issues, and she definitely should work on those 100%. But, like, so far, like, I don't know. It's definitely a very strange response that she has. Like, I do think she should have discussed this with Redacted. I wouldn't doubt that maybe Redacted definitely had some role in, like, because they were dating at some point, so I wouldn't doubt that maybe there was some role in how maybe they didn't fully see eye to eye, like, together at every single step of the turn. And most of it they definitely did throughout this drama. But, I don't know, let's just keep reading. I just think it's an interesting perspective to give, because it's like, there's a lot of, I would say, whenever someone comes forward with a story on the internet, in most cases, and like in most of the stories I see, it's overinflated, it's overblown. There's a lot of very unintelligent conversation that happens, particularly on Twitter specifically. There's a lot of very unintelligent conversation that happens about a lot of very important social topics that we should be talking about. This is very tame. It doesn't really fall into any social conversation, to be honest with you. This is just terminally online brain rot. That's really what this drama boils down to. But that's like a very real thing. Just because you think you did a bad thing doesn't necessarily mean you did a bad thing, right? I'm going to use an extreme example for this. Sexual assault survivors often blame themselves for what happens to you. I know this is like nowhere near comparable to it, obviously, but just bear with me for a second. They'll blame themselves for what happened to them, but just because they blame themselves for it, does that mean it's their fault that they got sexually assaulted? No, absolutely not. You should say no. And I think the same, like, logic, the overall idea of that can be applied to this drama, where just because people are, like, Cinder thinks some of the stuff she did was wrong, which it was, doesn't mean we need to come at it with, like, all this energy. And, like when I was reading some of the replies to this tweet specifically, I didn't, like, do a full deep dive into this drama until now. I was reading some of the replies, and one of the fucking VTubers was like, "You're such a terrible friend, how dare you," and all this stuff. They were, like, virtue signaling. I'm just like, chill the fuck out. We don't need to overload this conversation.
Not going to change much if the rest of the apology is looking like this. But anyway, she continues, in regards to Nanolist, for the majority of the time working with her, Red was the one almost solely doing the communication about new plans and negotiations through his private DMs. Nano had a project server we were all
okay, that's definitely not true. There's proof that you did it, for sure. I don't know, you're definitely not doing yourself any favors with this, like, change in the story.
Part of where the actual art and models were worked on, but the conversations were focused around the work itself. I was not fully aware of the extent of Red's manipulation over Nano's commission decisions, and I should have been more diligent in my oversight.
That might be true. I mean, you guys definitely were aware that you were in communication. It's definitely, you guys are not, you're not doing yourself any favors. I don't know. She's like, Cinder's definitely not doing herself any favors with, like, this massive story change to, like, try to save her reputation.
Every time I had been told that Nano had agreed to work on a new commission with me, it had been willingly and with excitement. From my point of view, it was that she genuinely wanted to be working on these things. I wanted to work with Nano as much as I possibly could, making her art the face of my brand.
That I don't doubt. I mean, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. Like, it definitely seems like maybe you don't necessarily see... I wouldn't doubt that this Cinder person just is not really able to see from other people's perspectives necessarily, so maybe she doesn't realize that she crosses boundaries. Again, Cinder does have a lot of boundary issues from what I've seen throughout this entire thing.
We had come to the conclusion that it'd be in my best interest to talk with Nano about making more time for my project by negotiating with her to cut out other work. This was wrong for us to push onto her, and it was wrong to the other creators who wanted the chance of working with her. There was only one specific creator we were responsible for naming and pressuring Nano into reconsidering projects with, not an entire list. Of her own volition, Nano canceled a large portion of her model commissions last September. However, the claim that I was just using her is wrong. Wait, no, this is completely undermining what actually happened. Redacted pressured Nano to not work.
The Redacted did not pressure, okay.
With Bow, Cotton, Silver, and there was even mention of Geary in there. And let's not forget that more...
Well, yes, there was a mention of other content creators, but Redacted didn't pressure them into anything. There was no pressuring into literally fucking anything. God, I hate the fucking moral language in this so much.
Recently, Shy Lily was included in there too. So for
nobody is a reliable narrator in this story. Holy fuck. Nobody here is a reliable narrator.
Canceled these.
This entire thing is so dumb.
Her own volition is wild, seeing that they manipulated her into doing so. Anyway, she continues, I've always treated Nano with respect, and as my friend, I did give her a lot of work, and we did everything we could to accommodate her schedule if she needed more time or a break, and even helped her with her own project payments multiple times. I've invited her on my stream, I've sent her my merch and things she's made for me, and I was always open to talking to her about things outside of our projects in the instances we would message each other. Regarding the exclusivity deal made between them, I had no part in the direct negotiations of their eventual agreement, and I had no knowledge of Bow and Cotton being included in this list. If I had known my friends were included, I would have said something to put a stop to it. I was only aware of it being about one person who I was unfairly pursuing. When Nano had messaged me about this agreement almost a month later, I was under the impression this was only about Silverveil. I was upset, and my initial messages to her were very guilt-trippy, but I wasn't going to force Nano to do
My initial messages to her were very guilty, but I wasn't trying to force her into doing anything. Okay, I mean, that's definitely not good that you're admitting to guilt tripping. Again, I maybe you weren't intentionally trying to guilt trip them, but you seems like you are admitting to doing it anyway. Whatever. This is just not even worth dissecting, to be honest. This whole thing is fucking dumb.
Anything she wasn't okay with, and tried reassuring her that I was okay with her decision. Nano had also never come to me as seriously and professionally as her document was looking to address the issues she had with either of us or to terminate our partnership. I had no idea there was even a conversation about Shy Lily recently between Red and Nano until reading her document. It's true I had confided in Red that lately I hadn't been hearing from Lily like I had in the past and was worried something was wrong. But that's
that's exactly the interpretation I had when I was watching when I saw that Nano was talking to Redacted, or Redacted was venting to Nano rather.
As far as it went, and he took it upon himself to try digging for more info. And I was never even aware Nano was ever planning to work on a model for another one of my friends, Geary. I do not condone anything about what Red said about Bao in these DMs either, and him using we and our in this context is abhorrently incorrect, and I believe was done to gain greater credibility behind what he was saying. Yes, Red and I were initially upset when Bao hired my editor, and I took it personally when I shouldn't have. I felt as if maybe my content wasn't good enough, or like I wasn't paying enough for his work. But I accepted it and was happy for him for getting that bag and supporting one of my friends at the same time. I don't know, at this point, these things are very hard to believe. If she confided in Red how pissed she was,
well, you guys aren't exactly reliable narrators either, so I just don't have any reason to believe anything that any of you guys are saying. This whole thing is so terminally online. It's fucking insane.
Admitting that, yes, she was pissed, and she confided in Red. Red then used
this whole thing is just, it's very Tobbs.
them to the blacklist. But regardless, those feelings are not things you're meant to feel towards friends. Anyway, she continues, and she says, and yes, I was also upset when Sack, the Boss Rush music video editor, had told us that he won't be working on any future project with us and would instead be working exclusively for Bao. But Red got it.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks. It is what it is. You know, that's just how the business is. It is what it is. What can you do?
His head that it was Bao's fault that it happened and seemingly held a grudge against her for it. He was very passionate about Boss Rush and the potential future projects around it, but he told me about a music video editor as talented as Sack. The future projects wouldn't reach the same heights, so he created this headcanon that's laid out in those DMs. I wasn't convinced this was the case, but it's my fault for never speaking with Bao about these things directly to clear things up and letting it spiral to the point it got to. Every comment here about her own music, guilt tripping, and claims about our shared feelings towards her are disgusting, and I honestly don't know why you thought this way about my close friend beyond the resentment over those two things or why it was worth sabotaging her over. Like, again, if you had the time to confide how pissed you were about this to Red, you could have messaged Bao to clear things up. Assuming you had no idea what Red did, it's still kind of a problem.
Sure, and you know what? That's true. She definitely could have cleared things up with Bao about, like, personal feelings about it. Like I said, definitely neither of you guys should have put this out on the fucking internet to, like, try to, go scorched earth. This is stupid.
Clear this up in one DM. She goes on to say,
exactly. And by that logic, also, none of your fucking friends or anyone else have to come forward about this either. You guys could have handled this behind the scenes and not fucking talk about it on the internet as if, like, fucking Sinder is like this horrific psychopath, which she very clearly isn't. She's just someone with massive boundary issues.
The "it's just business" screenshot of my DMs with Nano's document was from November of 2023, and I'll go into my thought process of everything I said here. What Red was trying to explain to Nano is that if everyone has a model by her, then the innate value of her models overall are diminished by there being an oversaturation of that type of model out there. If everyone in the world had a VTuber model done by her, then the value of having her model wouldn't be the same as if there were only a handful of them, which she viewed as a negative for me. I understand where he was coming from with this, but in the VTuber space, this isn't something we should have pursued, so I was never upset seeing new model siblings. In many cases, I was there cheering them on at their debuts, and looking to collab with them as sisters when I could. Oh, you mean how you met up with Silver at TwitchCon, cheered that you guys are both wolf sisters, and then stabbed her in the back? Yeah, that makes sense. She continues and says, me saying it's just business was referring to my acceptance of Nano's business decisions, whether she chose to work with me or not. This was not in reference to anyone's model being canceled. Further explain.
Like, there's so many things wrong with what the fucking backstabbing thing, but I just don't feel like engaging with it. I just want to get through this video, to be honest.
Okay if she chooses not to work with me. I can understand.
Like, I'm so over this drama.
The next part can sound manipulative, but my intention was to reminisce about the journey we had together up to this point.
Wait, what part? What was that?
Acceptance of Nano's business decisions, whether she chose to work with me or not. This was not in reference to anyone's model being canceled. Further explaining to her that it's okay if she chooses not to work with me. I can understand where the next part can sound manipulative, but my intention was to reminisce about the journey we had together up to this point, since at this time I wasn't sure if this is where Nano and I would stop working together as frequently as we had.
Yeah, I never got any manipulative vibes from the DMs. I never picked up on that. So I believe Cinder in this instance, yeah. Like, I believe her here.
And I'd have to look for a new model artist. I then encourage her to work on projects she's excited about while I talk with Red to find a project that would work with her schedule. That's definitely looking at things with a perspective of best case scenario. Like, I want to believe that's the case, but with how Red was talking, it just makes it very...
I just don't think it was that deep, to be honest with you. This like extra commentary is just so, like, terminally online.
Very hard to believe.
I really don't think it's
when
that
talking
deep.
about Silvervale, I need to start at the beginning. Before I was Cinder, I was a pink cherry blossom girl named Tashi that did ASMR content. When the VTuber boom happened in 2020, I knew I wanted to join in. Red and I contacted an artist in October, and they were set to start my VTuber design by December. The plan was to take my cherry blossom persona Tashi.
Wait, I fucking called it. 2020. Oh my god, I fucking called it. These people got, like... They started doing content creation in 2020, they blew up, and then there was a bigger boom that happened as well, and then it just, like, paved the way for, like, dude, I fucking called it. What did I say? I mentioned it earlier in this video. I called it.
and make her a pink and white wolf girl VTuber.
What
In
did I
November
tell
of that same
you?
year, Silvervale revealed her Sakura wolf redesign. I had heard of Silvervale earlier that year, but I didn't watch her streams at all. We knew we had to pivot before we were stuck with a design that would just be a copy of one of the most popular VTubers at the time. Like I've explained many times on my stream, I knew I wanted to be a wolf girl, so I mixed my love of Okami and metal music into the design and came out with a Hellhound. My name was originally going to be Ember, but Red came up with the name Sinder since it was a mix of Sin and Cinder, both hell and fire themed. It was only a coincidence that it ended up being similar to Silver. I was genuinely interested in pursuing a friendship with her and drew fan art myself of us together. See, that would be considered wholesome, but then teeters on the borderline of being a stalker when we know how hard she tried to be friends with her and then ended up backstabbing her. She continues, on the
Whatever.
On the other hand, Red was in my ear the whole time saying how great working together would be since, again, he's been the business-oriented side of my brand. Since I started streaming, I have been ruthless.
I have to 2x speed this. This is like, none of this matters.
Compared to Silvervale, being called the discount version of her. I was accused of copying her design, copying her personality, and even copying her laugh of all things. And there was a large number of people who were diehard believers in the fact that I stole all of these attributes maliciously for my own gain, citing the art I posted of us together, calling her an inspiration. When in reality, this was referring to the decision to become a Hellhound. The only time Silvervale was mentioned in the original designing of my character was when we explained why we were pivoting to something else, and there were no references of her character involved. I grew more and more resentful of Silver over time between the constant belittling of myself, a controversy around my first life hookup, and other incidents, even though she herself never interacted with me directly. And it was also that fact that made me insecure, like I wanted to know if she believed all these things or not. It really felt as if she didn't like that I even existed in the same space. So at the point I was working with Nano consistently, we brought up not making any more models for her. If a VTuber model is how everyone recognizes you, then it'd be harder to compare us directly if we no longer look alike or have that shared similarity. It was a wrong and selfish decision, but it made me feel better, and that's why it was a constant topic with Nano. Red pushed for this harder than I ever did because he knew how it affected me for years, but no matter what the outcome was, I wasn't going to walk away from working with Nano. Silver was completely undeserving of this treatment, and it was my own insecurities that led me to making this choice. I became unapologetically evil.
I should have brought a blanket for this to take a nap and wait for the video to be over. To be honest,
no direct action of her own.
I should have brought a blanket.
It's interesting, right? Because that's exactly how she made Spike feel. And even though that was the case, she never went out publicly to say, hey guys, stop harassing her. This idea of a VTuber copying another has been a problem in the VTubing sphere for a long time, and that's the community's fault. But I personally don't like how often Cinder is throwing Red under the bus. Even here, saying Red pushed for this harder than I ever did. Yeah, so what? You were aware of this, and you were pushing it in DMs with Nano too, so it doesn't matter whether he did or not. Like, I wonder, we're not even halfway through. Is she still gonna push this narrative that Red was doing the majority of this, and I was on the sidelines, but I'm still sorry? It's like, no, no, you were very much aware. She continues. Moving on from Silvervale, let me talk about Spike. Once again, I had no involvement or knowledge of Red bringing up Spike to Nano in 2023. My only personal involvement with excluding someone specific from working with Nano was Silver. My design sheet and outfit were finished and made public at the very start of 2021. The first thing she mentions is a debut teaser in 2022 that was apparently posted on the same day as her original debut, which I honestly don't know if at the time this was intentional or not.
Bro, I would be very curious to see someone trying to bring up this drama to someone in the real world, and when they laugh this off, and when they fucking just like they like fall on the floor and they just start laughing, understand that's my reaction. This is so terminally online. This whole thing is just so very terminally online.
When I first discovered Spike, and it could have been after she debuted. When I first debuted, I was very possessive of my design details. I had made it a year and a half since my design sheet was finished and public to having a full VTuber debut as I watched everything grow and change from the sidelines, and I didn't want anyone else to capitalize on my concept before I could. Soon after my original debut, I remember Spike getting an update to her model that made it seem like she more closely resembled me, including fire added to her model. Without evidence, I saw it and thought she must have copied me, but I never did anything about it other than voice my frustrations to Red. I didn't want to start drama with anyone, and I didn't have ownership over fire as a design detail.
Yeah, exactly. You voiced your frustrations with your partner, you voiced your frustrations elsewhere, yeah, you vented, and obviously, like, Red crossed some boundaries, but there was no manipulation involved. Yes, we understand this. Cool.
So the ripped shirt and shorts outfit on my bikini model was given to Nano in June of 2022 with the purpose
This pretty much just reaffirms everything I said earlier, by the way, in this video. That, like, all the interpretations I had, I was correct.
cover-up outfit that would be safe for Twitch. The merch art she's referring to was designed around my concept of fire-changing blue. The fact that the rest of the art was grayscale was the artist's choice since it was going onto the back of a hoodie and I didn't have a say, or at least I didn't counter that being the final decision. There was no intention to deliberately look like Spike with this piece. Unfortunately, both my Angel and Sleepy outfits being similar to outfits Spike has done in the past was just a coincidence. I had always planned to one day make an Angel counterpart to my Demon outfit when it was being made in 2023, and my original ref sheet laid the groundwork for that idea. I've never liked theming anything around my brand in a religious light, so I chose to make my Angel form more Greek Valkyrie than biblical, which also gives it a similar look to my Demon form. The Sleepy outfit was a last-minute decision to pivot from the fully new 3.0 model because I had the opportunity to work with gamer subs on an AFK flavor. Spike never should have received the hate comments over her outfit or any comments comparing us or belittling her because of my existence, and I never advocated for anyone to do so, especially given my experience. In regards to Spike, I'll let you decide. Was it a coincidence that so many outfits matched each other? And is it a coincidence that every time Sinder complained about anything to Red, he would make it personal? Anyway, she continues. Spike also brought up another
I don't care about any of that. I skipped past that. That whole thing was just one giant nothing burger.
reached out to her about their experience with me, and I can only assume it's Ninetales. They are an ASMR artist who at one point posted a Hellhound original character.
Oh, the cheating stuff? Yeah, I don't care about any of this. Like, whatever. This is fine. Who cares?
For one of their upcoming ASMR videos, and it was undoubtedly created using me as a reference. This was right after my debut, and like I said, I was very protective of my design elements being unique to me, and I overreacted. Shortly after, I apologized, and they agreed to adjust the character design, and I thought the matter was settled. At the very start of my online career, I was a girlfriend-experienced ASMR artist. Before I started my channel, I had gotten into listening to roleplay audios myself. I had always been a shut-in throughout high school and college, and I wasn't happy with where my life and relationship were at the time. After uploading my first few audios, my channel started going fast. This was the first time I was inundated with so many people wanting to know me and talk to me, and I got lost in the excitement of it all, not fully coming to terms with these messages being because of the kind of content I was making. I was immature and inexperienced with how to conduct myself online. I have never had many IRL friends and had met Rain doing ASMR.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I literally called all of this that you were just like someone who struggles with boundaries, and that tends to happen when you're immature and inexperienced. Yeah, that literally is like very normal for people who are younger.
I became comfortable chatting with them about everything, divulging my grievances about my personal life when I shouldn't have. I cheated on my boyfriend with Rain in these conversations, flirting and sexting. I used Rain for emotional comfort and sexual fantasy while I let my real life relationship collapse. It was about my dissatisfaction with my personal life and escaping into messages with someone else who I found through content.
Yeah, that's definitely not good, but it's not cancelable, and it's not something that should ruin your life forever. Again, I don't care about any of this. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's not good that you did it. Definitely work it out in your private life. This did not need to be public. The people that made this public did not need to make it public at all.
Girlfriend, boyfriend, RP. It was never about climbing the ladder with Rain, and I find that being his takeaway from why I moved on baffling. By the time I was ready to debut as Sinder, I wanted to leave that in the past. Still, to this day, I regret my decisions and have been living with it since, and I was lucky to be able to mend my relationship after this. So she confirmed she cheated, and Red was fully aware, at least as far as we know. Yeah,
who gives a fuck? Who cares?
Maybe Rain did have the wrong conclusion here. Maybe she actually moved on because she wanted to leave this part of her life behind. Sure.
Shut the fuck up. She was not traumatized from any of this. How are you gonna fucking engage with someone knowing they have a partner and then act like you're the traumatized one? Make it make sense to me, please. And then you come forward as if this is an experience, and then you're like, fuck it, this is my experience. Anyone who's like a survivor of something horrific would never frame it like this. If you wanted to come forward, gain clout, and have a very opportunistic mindset, this is how you would frame it. Saying fuck it, and then allege cheating and stuff. Fuck out of here.
But did she cheat?
This person knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, she then continues and says, and lastly, I want to address Peaches. This is a very big problem I have, and I'm sure many others in my position do too. At the end of the day, I am one person. I'm one person working on multiple projects with multiple companies, talking to dozens.
Who the fuck is this Peaches person? I didn't even know who this Peaches person is. And to be honest, I don't even care. I just don't even care.
People and streaming for hours almost every day. I've never had a big social battery, and I get tired very easily when interacting with people. I haven't had much energy at all over the past year, leading to me taking frequent naps. I've rarely been able to keep up with my closest handful of friends on a frequent basis, let alone everyone else. Red has always been a big help in keeping up with things, but he doesn't do everything. I'm so sorry I made you feel forgotten, Peaches. I've always cherished your friendship, and I was so incredibly excited to meet you in pairs. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me, and I've never thought to purposely drop you just because I could. I'm sorry, I know I've made a lot of people feel forgotten or ignored. It's so easy to get caught up in projects or what I'm doing while I have the energy to do it that people fall by the wayside. I understand the feelings of those who resent me over this, and all I can say is I'm sorry. I don't deserve to be able to contact everyone involved directly to personally apologize, so I'll do it here in the chance they read it. So before we get into the individual apologies, I just want to clarify, Peaches means Van Peaches. This is the same VTuber who called her out for having a boyfriend and trying to hide it from her, as if they didn't
Oh, it's this person. Whatever.
know each other. Now let's get into the individual apologies, starting with 2Nano. I'm sorry I let them.
Okay, so just to be clear, when they mentioned the, you told me he was your boyfriend, yeah, I mean, that adds up, right? Then you met on TwitchCon, you switched up. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird that Sinder didn't let her boyfriend know, but, like, again, based on everything else I've seen here where it wasn't really malicious, how am I supposed to take away that this was also malicious if all I've seen is that Sinder is guilty of extreme boundary issues? So far, because that's literally all I've seen from this entire situation. We only have 19 minutes left. I highly doubt you're going to be able to convince me that Sinder was manipulative within that 19 minutes out of the rest of this video.
Things get to this point where even entertain the thought of you working exclusively with me. That's not fair to you. I wouldn't be here without you, and I wouldn't have been able to do most of what I've already done without you. I felt overly attached to our relationship over the past 4 years and loved your work so much that I wanted to make myself exclusive to your art and should have never sought those feelings to be reciprocated. Everything you've ever worked on for me was always so perfect, and I lost sight of how everyone else around me would have felt. I had no intention of pressuring you into anything.
Yeah, exactly. This is a boundary issue. Again.
Looking back on my clouded judgment, I can see how my messages felt that way. When I talked about how my models helped you improve, I meant that as looking back on how far we've come together. We've been friends for so long and cheered each other on when we both started growing and getting more opportunities like plushies, figures, etc. You had been my exclusive artist for full life 2D models for the majority of my time as a VTuber, and of course I would have been sad if you didn't want to continue that relationship. But in all our private DMs, I was okay with you ultimately doing what was best for yourself. I saw you as someone I trusted and loved and wanted to make sure you were still taking care of yourself with all the projects you took on, mine or otherwise. I never saw you as just a business partner. I thought I was reassuring you that I'd always be understanding if you wanted to move on to other projects. I genuinely appreciated our friendship. I always saw you as a close friend, and I'm sorry for what I put you through. To bow. Since the start, I've always admired you and how genuine you've always been to everyone. I wouldn't be here without you either. I'm disgusted with myself for buying into the narrative that my friends were competition. I've never had such genuine friendships in my life, especially with you. We've gotten to know each other so well online and in person. You've already been through so much, and the last thing I want to do is cause more harm. That's a bit too late. But I did.
Shut the fucking undercutting of every fucking point is just so passive aggressive. It's so dumb, the insinuation here.
I'm sorry for not reaching out sooner about these ideas that were put into my head. I wish we would have been able to talk about this too. I didn't know about the severity of things that have been said and theorized by my own friends behind my back until now. It's my fault for not realizing the things Red was saying about you. The countless friendships I've made here within the last several years mean so much more to me than him and the business side of things. Wait, did you just say the countless friendships I've made here within the last several years mean so much more to me than him and the business side of things? Like the friendships mean more to you than your boyfriend?
Wait, what? The countless friendships I've had here within the last several years mean so much more to me than him and the business side of things and his way of thinking. So earlier in this document, we don't actually have any legitimate proof that Sinder was like, that they never spoke with Redacted. I mean, they claim that they never spoke with Redacted, right? Once they cut ties with Redacted and said that they're no longer a part of anything, right? Anything business related. And I guess she's trying to say that she was not aware of certain aspects of it. I mean, again, like, we'll never know if that's actually true or not, because at that point, it's just going to be he said, she said. I do think it's a little bit odd if that part winds up not being true. We're never going to know for certain if that is or isn't true, because that's, like, again, that's just another he said, she said. But, I think what she's trying to say is this is after she found out about some of the business side of things that Redacted was doing behind the scenes. Even though she knew about most of it, there's like certain aspects of it that she didn't know about. And whatever. I don't even know why I'm analyzing this at this point. I accidentally hit the captions button.
Did you just write this like in a non-clear way? Anyway, no amount of popularity or money means more to me than the relationships I've built in this community. I've always been myself, whether that be on stream or in person, and I hope the friends I make can understand. I never condone this behavior or any of the things that were said about my friends. I've always wanted everyone around me to thrive and find happiness. I can't stress enough how disappointed I am that I didn't see this sooner until we got to a breaking point. I'm sorry, Bao. After all these documents and these different people and their perspectives and their points of views, is there a single word that you believe in this paragraph? Let me know in the comments. Next up we have Tasak. I love getting to chat with you in person and absolutely loved all the hard work you put into the Boss for song. I was so grateful to hear you were on board to edit the music video. I don't remember exactly why the stream got pushed back, but I definitely wouldn't have put the blame on you knowing about how soon the deadline was when you started working on it. I was so thankful for your willingness to complete the project despite everything, and the quality of how it turned out was incredible. I can't believe how Red talked about you, especially after all the effort you put in for me. I'm so sorry for everything that's happened. Next up we have Takan and Shy Lily. They don't get individual apologies, they got grouped up together. Anyway, she says, I'm so sorry you had to get dragged into this. It's my fault I let it get this far, but I hope you can believe me when I say I had no knowledge of Red bringing you up in Nano's DMs. I just learned about all this myself, and there can have been so many other friends affected by the narrative that things always have to be competitive. If I knew Red was trying to exclude specific friends in this exclusivity deal, I would have spoken up. None of my friendships are worth sacrificing over an art piece. I love being your friend and all the memories we've shared, and I hope someday you can forgive me for allowing this to happen. Next up we have The Silver. Since the start, I loved that I saw someone else sharing so many similar interests in me, and I thought maybe someday we could talk about it all and be good friends. I was blinded by all these hate comments around me calling me your lesser half. I hate the person I've become towards you. I tried reaching out some time ago to try to start up a friendly conversation to change things and make things right, say hi to you at conventions and support your endeavors, but despite all that, I was still being eaten alive by my own doubts and fear or harassment. I was pressured by the community as a whole to try reaching out to collaborate since I got these messages so often comparing us, and I hoped we could work something out. The photo of me at the meet and greet was taken candidly, and I thought it looked cute, and I posted it without asking you, which was wrong of me. I was so wrong for letting everyone get in my head about all these malicious feelings. I'm so sorry for any opportunities I've taken away from you. I'm sorry, Silver. Then we have the shortest apology in the entire document. Despite, I'm sorry I had assumed things about your design that weren't true, and I'm sorry you've been harassed by commenters needing to compare us. And I apologize for the way Red spoke about you to Nano. You didn't deserve any of this spite. I'm sorry. Next up we have Van Peaches. Two Peaches. I'm sorry if I made it seem like I was ignoring or ghosting you. I was so happy we had the opportunity to meet in person, and I was apologetic for how busy things were for me at the time. I wanted to spend more time with you, but as I got more and more DMs and messages, everything became so overwhelming. I've always had a low social battery, and that made it so hard for me to keep up to date with all my friends. I've never had any ill feelings towards you, and I still don't. Next up we have Rain. Rain. You were the first person I met as an ASMR artist during a time where I was immature and vulnerable. I ended up being consumed by the content I was making, and it led me to making awful decisions I still think about and regret. I was not in a good spot at the time. I've hated myself for this kind of behavior, and it took a long time for me to move on from what happened. I have no excuses. I'm sorry you were dragged into my drama, and I'm sorry how I made you feel after I just wanted to close the book on things.
You shouldn't apologize to that Rain person. They came forward specifically for Cloud. Like I said, this really just like ties into what I said earlier about like just because you think you did something wrong doesn't necessarily make it wrong. Like the cheating thing, like yeah, it's not good, but you don't fucking owe Rain an apology at all. Like they literally came forward just for clout. And it's very obvious when you read that document. Anyone in the real world who reads that document and understands this, which they're not going to no one in the real world would even, like, lay a finger on this. This whole thing is so terminally online. But assuming they did, right, entertain the idea, then they would come to the conclusion that that person is a weird fucking clout-chasing freak that is just riding the Sinder cancel wave. That is the objective conclusion you can come to when you read that.
She says, I'm sorry to my pyro pups and my mods for expecting me to lead a better example than this. I'm sorry to the VTuber community for looking towards me as someone to aspire to. I'm sorry to Kaiser, who's put his heart and soul into everything he's ever done for me and not even talking to you about how I felt. I'm sorry to the dozens of artists that have put their hard work into me, and I'm sorry to the rest of my friends who I've let down. I've led a bad example, and I don't expect forgiveness. I've made many mistakes over my 5 years on the internet, and I'm only one person living the one life I get for the first and only time, like everyone else. As I said at the start, I ended up developing an extremely unhealthy work-life balance, and the harm Red has caused with the way he viewed things is irreparable. The way I've been perceiving things lately is not how I want to view the world moving forward, and this goes to show there's a lot I need to address and improve if I'm going to continue being a creator. I'm devastated that the friendship so special to me may understandably never be mended again. I love my job, and I love all the friends I've had. Thank you for reading. Signed, Sinder. Whoa, what a read. My voice is almost gone. What did I get out of this? Well, it was kind of what I was expecting. There's nothing she can really say that can repair what happened. Sure, Redacted was her manager, he was doing the talking for her, and even if we were to believe her and give her the benefit of the doubt 100%, we still have proof, and she admitted that she was purposely targeting Silver. All of this was also happening over the last couple
No, not really. We already established that it was just a massive boundary issue. Not really. She was not targeting Silver, but okay, you go, King.
of years, maybe even a bit longer. This isn't just about her not being aware and Red being the guy who did all of this by himself. This is about how she's the boss, Red is her manager, and in any other industry.
At least I know I won't have trouble sleeping tonight. I guess that's the one positive thing that can come from pushing through all of this.
Would be considered gross negligence. Just imagine with me for a second, if Nano didn't make her documents, then how long would this have carried on? I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, this is ridiculous. And it's actually very easy to shut down all her excuses. She was there when Bao showed her the model that Nano was working on. Throughout this entire document, she kept saying how Nano was more than just an artist. She was her friend. She loved her. When Bao vented to her and her friends in the group chat that the model was cancelled, a true friend would have messaged Nano, asked what was going on. A true friend would have reassured Bao, seeing how they could help. But she didn't do any of this as if she was already planning it to begin with. And guess what? She was. Throwing your boyfriend under the bus for everything is just not going to count. Other VTubers, especially the ones mentioned in the document, thought the same thing. So they made sure it publicly with blonde. When she saw her response, Bao replied almost immediately saying, How can you say you didn't know? I showed you both my base model sketch from Nano at WeebCon. We walked on stage and performed together. You were in the group chat where I shared my sadness over Nano suddenly canceling my model after we were so close to being live 2D and rigging. And to now find out that just the day before I shared my sadness, this is the conversation that happened that ruined months of debut prep, planning, merch preparation. If you want to apologize to me, please do it properly and stop hiding behind Red. About attaching the two screenshots we already saw in Nano's document and a new screenshot showing the group chat where she vented about Nano dropping her.
Okay, what am I supposed to do with any of this? This is not proof of anything. What? This doesn't prove anything.
It's just not adding up. This apology is only making things worse and even
Shut the fuck up.
weirder for Sinder. Shy Lily replied to this apology, and here's what she had to say. The absolute audacity to sit here and continue to manipulate and gaslight is absolute insanity. The pain.
Oh, great. I'm gonna have to read like fucking... We're gonna have to go through like fucking paragraphs of dumb fucking moral grandstanding that like Twitter and like Twitch is known for, just fucking endlessly virtue signaling and like moral grandstanding that the spaces, because like again, it's not about what is good, it's about performing good in these fucking spaces. That's how most of the Twitch spaces operate.
and mental torment you've caused to the ones closest and most supportive of you has been
And
devastating.
I'm just so over it. Like, I just see through all of it.
And I have never been so heartbroken and hurt so badly for my friends. You are the fakest person I've ever had the displeasure of supporting, reading, and hearing of how you've really viewed me behind my back, not just through screenshots of your man, but also your very own messages, while having to sit here and read through these bullshit lies you spin makes me want to vomit. To claim that you didn't know a single thing and had zero awareness of what your man was up to. And
I really don't think it's that deep. This whole energy, it's like, this whole energy is so disproportionate. Holy fuck, dude.
One who shared even a single moment with you knows that you basically operate as the same person, sharing every waking moment while loving to jump at the slightest opportunity to turn into your most slanderous self as soon as the opportunity was given, even when talking about your friends is sickening.
Dude, that's not at all what she said. What the fuck? Dude, she was just venting. What the fuck? Who cares? It's really not that deep. This is so not that deep.
Experienced your own actions without red. In a situation where your own screenshot words, you express a pressure to live up to what Lily is, and proceeded to throw one of your most loyal and supportive friends under the bus after months of continuous planning just because you consistently chose business over friends, never feeling bad for failing them. Just
Dude, who fucking cares?
to earn the bag and compete with me over a V-Card collab that you rescheduled to be on the exact date your friend needed you to keep an important promise. You actively lied about it to them, instead blaming me for a collab you rescheduled, adding me to the pool of excuses to save your ass when you realized you were being a bad friend. Why blame me for choosing to miss an obligation you agreed to?
I mean, that's true, but it's like, who cares? Like, literally, like, yes, again, boundary issues, 100%. Probably inappropriate. Probably inappropriate to even suggest that to Nano. Yeah, 100%. But, like, you guys are trying to make it seem like it's malicious. This very obviously is not the case to me.
On one of the most important days in that friend's career. Everything you do is out of competition through your constant need to one-up people who are the sole reason you even have these opportunities and platforms to earn from to begin with. You're welcome, by the way. You claim that it's just business. Well, in the business world, there has to be accountability.
What?
Through your constant need to one-up people who are the sole reason you even have these opportunities and platforms to earn from to begin with. You're welcome, by
Okay, so let me get this straight. Earlier, you guys are... What I read from, like, this little fucking undercut, by the way, you're welcome, by the way, which is very passive-aggressive. It's very... It's very condescending of you, first of all, Lily. It's very fucking obnoxious. It's obnoxious bitch energy, to be, like, absolutely real with you when you say stuff like this. It makes me feel even less bad for you when you say stuff like this. You say you're welcome, by the way. Like, earlier, what happened to all those times earlier where you guys were accusing Sinder of feeling entitled to this fucking artist or VTuber modeler or whatever, right? This person who makes assets for the community. Earlier, you say that Sinder is entitled to them because, and then that Sinder was accusing all these people of stealing from her and doing all this stuff and the music, and you guys were like really adding all this energy, but now all of a sudden you guys say you feel like it's transactional. Like when you say you're welcome for giving her the platform, you say it's transactional. Like, this just implies that, okay. This just implies that everything is transactional to a lot of Twitch streamers nowadays. Like, that's really what I took away from that. Oh my god.
the way. You claim that it's just business. Well, in the business world, there has to be accountability, and all you've done is try to shove it away and admit nothing. In true narcissistic fashion, you're only feeling sorry about yourself and your own consequences.
Oh, great. We're using buzzwords now. Narcissism, manipulation. Dude, everything is a fucking buzzword to these people. Holy fuck.
And try to salvage it. I'm sorry for everyone who looked up to you as an inspiration, and I'm especially sorry for your fans. Pyropups deserve better. Wow.
Shut the fuck up.
You know, Shy Lily typically avoids drama, even when there's her name involved. She avoids it. She never gives it any attention, but this time, not only did she have something to say, she gave out a career-ending statement, bro.
Not really. This is very performative. This is very performative.
Speaking of career-ending, Cinder's post has almost as many comments as likes, with many people expressing their discontent. The most liked reply here is Buff saying, dude, fuck off. And as you can see,
dude, fuck off? Who cares?
some of the biggest independent VTubers on the planet are here saying how disappointed they are while simultaneously not being in the slightest convinced by anything in this quote-unquote apology of hers. It's a disaster. But you would be gravely mistaken if you thought this was the end. No, this incident is the gift that keeps on giving. Aru, the literal ass behind the invisible
Oh, great. Another allegation. Oh, no.
woman in Marvel Rivals. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. They actually use her as reference. But more importantly, she's a streamer and
Can't wait to hop on the Cinder cancel train.
content creator who used to be a VTuber and is on friendly terms with
Also, they have Leon Kennedy's lap in their fucking bio. I'm getting flashbacks to the Dead by Daylight community. Like, this... there's a lot of parallels to this in the Dead by Daylight community. Holy fuck, dude.
Silvervale. She revealed to us after Cinder's catastrophic apology that her weird obsessive/stalker behavior towards Silvervale didn't start in 2023. This went on for way longer, and she tried to use Aru
I have to read all of this. Oh my god. Do I
to get to her. Here's what she had to say in her statement. I hadn't planned on tweeting anything about this until I saw Cinder's apology. While I wasn't hurt to the extent others were, it's clear now that I was lied to and used, not treated as a friend, but as a tool. I first met Cinder during a Twitch Rivals tournament and really looked up to her. We hit it off, messaged a lot, and got even closer at TwitchCon 2022, where I spent most of the day with her in red. At one point, she noticed I was mutuals with Silvervale, someone I admired since meeting her at PAX, and asked if I could introduce her. I thought she was just a fan like I was. Cinder invited me to go with her to Silvervale's meet and greet, and it meant a lot to me. As someone who didn't grow up with many social invitations due to being homeschooled in a foreign country, that gesture felt special. But looking back, I realized she only invited me because she thought I could give her access to Silvervale.
Oh, great. We're getting even further conspiracy brained on this. Looking back on something with a different lens because the internet told me that this was the case. We're really going full conspiracy brain here.
After I introduced them, Sinder pushed me to ask Silvervale for a collab. I'm someone who rarely initiates collabs. I prefer to build friendships off stream first or let things happen naturally. Still, I went out of my comfort zone to help because I believe she genuinely admired Silvervale. Now I know that wasn't true. And realizing she actually harbored resentment the whole time makes me feel completely used. I wasn't a person to her, just a connection. I did message Silvervale about the collab the first time, but when Sinder followed up again, I brushed it off because I didn't want the pressure. Over time, I started noticing that Sinder didn't treat me like a real friend, or like a means to an end. Sometimes she made it clear IRL that she didn't even like me, and I can't help but think it's because I didn't push harder for the collab. By 2023, our interactions had nearly stopped. Still, I tried to keep things friendly in DM/IRL because I didn't know how to stand up for myself or set boundaries. Don't worry, even if you set boundaries, she would have still found a way to backstab you, right? Look at Silvervale. Anyway, she continues, that's changed now for obvious reasons. It's hard to say, but Cinder's apology doesn't feel genuine, especially not towards Silvervale. The truth is, Sinder isn't the only one who makes others in the space feel used or small. People like her, Yaki, and others made me feel that the best choice for myself was to step away from VTubing entirely and made me afraid to build new connections. But as I said yesterday,
well, that's true. You could say that about the entire Twitch streaming space, to be absolutely real with you. It's a very cutthroat environment, to be honest. They're not as positive as it's a lot of toxic positivity in the Twitch spaces.
The space, and they're the ones worth holding on to. Don't let the bad ones stop you from being your genuine self. To my community, I think I'd like to try coming back to VTubing. When we talked about it last night, hearing how much all of you love the VTubing streams honestly hit me hard. It made me sad to realize I gave up on something I love just because of the shitty, awful people who poisoned the space for me. So the friends I pulled away from because I was trying to protect my peace, I'm sorry. I'd love the chance to reconnect and rebuild those friendships.
I don't care.
I started VTubing because I believed in the joy and creativity of this community. It's heartbreaking to see that spirit dimmed by people who take advantage of others' kindness, hold them accountable, call it out. What I went through wasn't nearly as intense as what Nanolis experienced, but I do understand how hard it is to say no to a friend, especially when they make you feel like you're the only one who can help. I truly hope everyone affected by Sinder can heal and move forward, and I'm sorry for any negativity the situation has brought up.
You guys are acting like Sinder fucking Andrew Tated these people. Holy fuck, the energy is like really not that deep. Oh my god.
From my side as well. She then links 3 different.
You guys, I just hate the energy that people are coming at this with. It's just endless virtue signaling over and over and over again to maintain like some kind of relevance. And like, even though Shy Lily, you, according to your own assertion that Shy Lily doesn't get involved in drama, like, you have to understand that like when there's an opportunity to virtue signal about something, people are gonna take it. Like, people are trying to make Sinder out to be, like, she's, like, this fucking worst human being that, like, victimized so many people. Like, she fucking Andrew Tated them or something.
Images of DMs between her and Sinder. The first image is from 2022, and it's Sinder starting off the conversation saying, would you want to come meet Silvervale with me at 2:30 p.m.? Aru then says, of course, I'll go with you, to which Sinder says, I'm just really nervous, and I think I remember you meeting her before. Dude, she is so sneaky.
Who cares? What? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck?
Then says, yes,
why would I give a fuck about any of this?
Oh my god, she's so nice, don't worry. To which Sinder said, you're the best, oh my god. Aru said, that's you. What time do you want to meet up? Sinder said, whenever you're free, and Aru said, okay, I'll be free in 10. In the next image, a few days have passed, and it's Sinder saying, were you still thinking about messaging Silvervale about a Wolf Girl chat? I'm not sure if she'd really want to, but I'd love to do more with you anyway. We should plan our spooky collab when we recover from this weekend. Aru then says, yes, let me message her and ask if that's okay. Yes, I agree, let's plan something. Cinder then says, we can wait a bit if you're still recovering, but if you had
okay, like, yeah, like, why?
Day/time in mind, just let me know. My schedule's pretty open right now. I know I'm pooped from this weekend, but I want to do lots with my friends still, to which Aru said,
why does any of this matter?
Sounds like she would be down to play games together once her schedule clears up. In the third image, we see DMs between Aru and Silvervale, with Silver saying, hi, it was amazing seeing you too. Aru then says, I was wondering if you'd ever be down to play some games off stream if had time. Totally understandable if you're too busy though. Cinder and I were just talking about how fun it would be to have a canine night. Cinder was the hellhound that was with me at the meet and greet. Silvervale then said, that'll be a ton of fun. I've been really busy lately with the con prep and stuff, but things haven't calmed me down lately. There's also a fourth image, so there's just 3. And these are DMs with Cinder and Aru around a couple weeks after the initial meetup, and it's Cinder saying, hey Aru, have you heard from Silvervale about doing a Wolfie collab with us? To which Aru said, let me message her right now. So hey, yet another person that Cinder manipulated and used. What a surprise. Bear in mind that a year later,
if you say so. Okay. I just don't even feel like debunking any of this anymore. I'm so exhausted.
Don't want to also show up to her meet and greet and tell her mythic manager to message her on her behalf. I'm telling you, the people involved here need to get a restraining order on Cinder. This is ridiculous. Shortly after this disastrous apology, Bao went live to talk about it.
I really don't think it's that deep, but okay. She's really not that big of a psychopath. Oh my god.
And look, it was very emotional. Here's what she had to say. I'll let her do the talking.
It's very insulting to people that actually need restraining orders from, like, people who are, like, actually physically fucking abusive and, like, are an active threat in their everyday lives. It's very insulting to those people, but okay, bud.
What I would have done if I was in their shoes, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it. We had been through so much offline and online, and there's nothing more confusing.
Are you performatively crying on stream right now? Are you fucking serious right now?
And more painful than seeing.
Dude, this is so performative. What the fuck?
Someone in your friend group be so kind and so warm to everyone around you, and
okay, yeah, get the crocodile tears out, lady.
Feeling that they have slowly become colder and colder towards you, and not knowing what you did or if it's your imagination.
At this point, it would have been better off if they were colder to you. Honestly, I'm being cold right now. And clearly I'm not being cold enough.
Because everyone loves them. You don't know if you want to say anything. And so you keep it to yourself. And you keep hoping it's your imagination. But then the cruel realization hits that it wasn't. And it's even more worse than you could have ever imagined.
Oh my god. I fucking can't, dude.
So yeah, it's definitely a very hard watch. Look, to the average person,
Yeah, very difficult watch, dude.
this is just another drama, but to these people like Bao and Cotton and Silver and so many more,
Very tough watch, man. I was fucking bawling my eyes out the entire time, man.
this is real
It's
life.
like watching Green Mile all over again.
This is someone they've known for years and genuinely thought that they were close and they were friends and they tried their best to treat Cinder like a precious person, not just a content creator or a VTuber. This is not something they'll just get over, right? They need therapy. They need psychiatric help. This is trauma. It's very hard to trust someone else.
Trauma. There was no trauma. Nobody was traumatized in this situation. You guys went through a fucking like boundary issues that Cinder had, and yes, she absolutely could have acted better, 100%. She could have acted more appropriately, but you guys are acting like she predatorized these people, that she like fucking violently raped all these VTubers. Chill the fuck out. It's really not that deep.
For something like this. As I've already mentioned, this didn't happen overnight. This was a multi-year operation from both Cinder and Redacted to backstab her friends, and she only apologized because she got caught. That is it. And people won't be forgetting about it anytime soon. But the question on everyone's minds is no doubt, is this the end of Cinder? Well, not necessarily. She might have burned every possible bridge in the VTuber community, but that doesn't mean she won't have viewers. She's an absolute psychopath that can't be trusted, but hey.
Shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of like morally loading the conversation and virtue, like just this endless fucking virtue signaling that this Muujin guy is doing. Oh my god, we only have a minute left. I'm just gonna get through it.
Other creators have done worse things and
have
still
to
have
get
a
through
career.
it.
She was
I'm
never
so
able to
over
reach
this.
the same level she
I'm
had
over
before
this
this controversy. That's for
situation.
certain. And in the end, controversies like these only serve to hurt gamer steps even further. She's a partial owner. I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped her. Anyway, that's the entire drama. I don't know how long the video's gonna be, but just because you made it until the end, you get the reward of seeing what 4chan has to say about it. That's right, 4chan is back, baby. It was hacked, but now it's back. Let's see what they think of this drama in the mega thread. All right, this is it. Let's see what the top comment has to say. That's great and all, but I don't care whatsoever. I just want the Cinder's tit.
Honestly, that's like the realest thing I've heard this entire fucking thing. And also, they're talking, before anyone accuses him of sexual harassment, they're talking about the VTuber model, okay? If they were talking about the person themselves, then that's terrible. Like, I wouldn't be laughing at this comment as much, but like, they're talking about the VTuber model very obviously. So...
Alright guys, thanks so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate it. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that is. Mwah!
Alright, well, yeah, this whole thing was just one giant fucking nothing burger. I wasted like 2 or 3 hours of my life educating myself on this situation. I'm fucking exhausted. This whole entire debacle did not need to be put online, and this entire situation is just very terminally online, and I'm over it. Get me out of here.